Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
The session is brought to you by morebeer.com, where every day you can enter to win the beer trip of a lifetime for 2 to Belgium. Private tours, round-trip airfare, and $500 to spend. Enter now at morebeer.com.
I poured it in my mouth and it just wasn't going down.
My first beer was an IPA, the best IPA I've ever drank, mostly because I brewed it.
If you have a scale that is good for measuring cocaine, you're probably good for measuring hops on cocaine.
You're scaring me.
I think the information is awesome and the audio sucks.
Make some sugary water, throw some yeast in there.
And you're going to drink good beer.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's fine.
God damn it, man. Oh, my God.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Hello, people in the brew world.
Hello.
Podcast land. It's raining in California. Only the second time in history, I think.
The second time this year.
Second time this year, that's for sure. It's raining in California, and Martinez needs it. Not like the rest of the state needs it. The rest of the state needs it for irrigation.
Right.
We need it as a cleanse here.
Like a hose it down kind of thing. Huh?
We need to get this shit out of here kind of.
Yeah.
You know, I read an article today that folks in Mendocino County are freaking out about the water shortage. I refuse to call it a drought because of illegal marijuana farms are stealing water from the reservoirs.
Right.
Are those things still illegal?
5 million gallons a day.
Really?
So they think in 90 days Mendocino will have no water because of all these shitty potheads. Yeah.
Had no weed.
There you go.
Let's just get right to the point.
Yeah, because it would be a bigger crisis, actually, if California ran out of weed. So I say that they have priority.
Yeah, give them as much water as they need until it's gone.
Yeah,
right.
that's a bigger crisis. You don't want potheads going nuts about where their weed is. We can, little water, hey, no big deal.
Stoners don't need water. They need, like, Dr. Pepper.
Oh, God, you just made me think of, like, the worst cottonmouth ever. When I was a stoner, you kind of did need water. The cottonmouth got really bad. There's no cure for that. You just
practice, I think.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
I don't know. I used to practice every goddamn day.
You tried IPA? Strong IPAs weren't around then,
Right. So maybe
I think the things they got it pretty good now. I'm thinking
it's the new cure.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it cuts that stuff.
Yeah, they can run out of water. They just can't run out of weed. California's.
Well, there's that question with the breweries, like Lagunitas and Russian River Brewing Company both get their water out of the Russian River. And there's some question about whether this could be on the beer news. Actually, that was on the web.
Yeah,
where Lagunitas was Jeremy Marshall was being interviewed about how alkaline the water is going to be if they go to their wells.
Oh yeah, yeah. Good point.
He says the water would be like Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I was reading some stuff about what kind of occurs if there's an actual prolonged drought.
It's not a drought.
One of the first things I said is if there is actual prolonged drought.
Yes, sorry.
then the first thing they do is, they go to wells, right? And then that's a whole period of time that'll kind of get the farms through and everything else. But that's a good point for brewers. That's a bit of a mess.
Water changes. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, that would be interesting. I wonder how long before Petaluma starts having to dip into the wells. Is that a year from now?
Well, it depends on the rain, right?
Yeah.
This probably helps.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that water source is local for them.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the Rush River is fed by local rains.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, we'll see what happens. We got a lot happening on the show for you today. The Maltose Falcons, well, a couple of them anyway, because that's a big club right there, are going to be on the program tonight talking about their 40th anniversary.
Wow.
I believe they are the oldest club in the U.S.
I think so.
The Maltose Falcons.
Yeah. Self-proclaimed, certainly.
Yeah, they definitely say they're the oldest.
Well, nobody challenges it, so there you go.
Yeah, I haven't seen a valid challenge anyway. Yeah, they
may know some, but
they've got proof. I saw a photograph of the original Maltose Falcons people.
Yes, I will post that to our live stream page.
I think I recognize one of those guys.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's an old guy right now. Yeah, he's like, well, let's see, if he, 40 years, if he was legal age, he'd be 21 so I'd be at least 61. That might be this guy, yeah.
I think it was James Earl Jones. Is that who you thought it was?
James
Could have been. No, there wasn't.
No.
I say that because as I was looking through the photo, a couple of them looked familiar in like they're famous now kind of a way. I was like, I'm pretty sure I've seen that guy in a creepy movie.
One looks like Jim Henson.
Well, they are out in L.A. They are out in L.A., so who knows? There could be some intersection there between character actors and home brewers.
All of them look like they were in Boogie Nights.
Absolutely. Well, let's get that photo up on the live stream page.
Yeah, it's coming.
That way folks can see it. So we're going to be talking to the Maltose Falcons tonight. They're celebrating their 40th anniversary. A lot of interesting stories from a homebrew club that's been around for that long. I know they got to brew a beer with a big, popular and awesome commercial brewery recently. We'll talk about that. And any other questions you have. I would say that if you've got questions about starting your own club or how clubs function, this is probably a great time to call in or hit the chat button on our homepage. And Bevo, once she gets here, can take your questions. We got to figure out this Monday thing with Bevo. It's getting a little ridiculous.
It is a little ridiculous.
I understand she has a real job, so I can't. There's not much I can say. But do we have to hire an interim call screener for the first 20 minutes of every show?
Well, we've been saying that we were going to get an intern for several years now, so I think it's about time to make that happen.
An actual one.
She can come after school.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say it out loud? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. We were all thinking it. You just
I was tapping the spank bank there.
I almost thought that was my voice. I realized I was the one doing it in my head, and you said it out loud.
Do your thoughts come to you in Tasty's voice? I imagine some of them probably do, right?
They do. Well, ones like that certainly do. Okay. When I'm craving an IPA, it goes, something, well, that's a good IPA.
What Tasty be thinking?
All right, so we got the Falcons in here. Couple of things to let you know about. We're also giving you an update on the Brewcaster Challenge today. Tonight we're going to talk about double IPAs, Imperial IPAs, between Moscow and Doc. So Doc's got a phone in today, actually. He's got a sick family. But he's going to call in. He's got his recipe all geared up. And then Scott's going to talk to us about his extract version of it. And the Brewcaster Challenge is officially on. So we'll talk about that today.
Awesome. I would like to state for the record that mine is most assuredly an Imperial IPA. It is not a double.
Not a double.
No, sir.
That's fair enough. I'm surprised that you've taken a stand on one side or the other.
I know, it's out of character.
Well, either it is or it isn't.
Right. All right, so we'll learn about that today. So if you have questions about double IPAs, we got Tasty here to help answer those. You all know that he's pretty damn good at doing that. All right, stuff I always let you know about. There's merchandise in the store. There's some new stuff in there. We got baby onesies and a bunch of new hats and some ladies' wear. And, in fact, it's 25% off all ladies' gear for the month of March in the Brewing Network store.
Wow.
So if you've been holding off on buying one of our shirts, they do tend to be a little more expensive than the guys' shirts. So maybe you're like, I'm not buying a shirt for her. I can get my own. I get my own damn shirt. Well, now you can do it. Or if you're one of our lovely female listeners, you can go buy one for your damned self. 25% off for the month of March. Everything ladies. Go check it out. You can also support us by shopping through Amazon, by clicking the Amazon link right there on our homepage. It's a big yellow link. And then you just shop as normal, and we get a little piece of the dough. We don't have to do anything. We just sit here on our asses while you shop for Amazon, and they give us a piece of the action. Do we have an Amazon product of the week?
No, not this week. Just keep using it, and thank you to those who so consistently and generously do.
Excellent. Watch all this live on thebrewingnetwork.com/TV. We're operating on live stream now all the time. Just thebrewingnetwork.com/TV. Or you can click the little TV icon on our homepage, and that'll take you over there. We try to get all our shows live, not just the session, but Brew Strong. I think that was live over the weekend on live stream.
Yep.
Dr. Homebrew, we get that up there.
Oh, yeah, we do.
You can watch past episodes. If you ever want to know what our guests look like, you can go just check out all the show archives there, too.
Prepare to be underwhelmed, though, if that's what you're wondering.
Yeah. All right. Also, subscribe and join the BN Army. You know, just becoming a recurring donor is a great way to help us out, and a lot of you have been doing that for years. We'd appreciate it if more of you did it, too. It keeps us going, and it enters you into the More Beer monthly donation giveaway, which is a $100 gift certificate that More Beer gives away each month to one lovely, attractive donor, which narrows it down to like 4 of you.
Right. The same 4 people keep winning and winning.
And you don't have to do anything to do that except for sign up as a recurring donor, and then you'll get an email if your name has been drawn. And we do that every single month. It's a nice thing that More Beer does for us. More Beer, the sponsor of this program, this session and every session. Go visit them over at morebeer.com. You can check out right now that they're doing you might have heard in the pre-roll of the show, a Belgian beer trip giveaway. It's like it's like 10 or 14 days, a big long trip.
Yeah, it's crazy.
For 2 people, and get to go around Belgium and enjoy yourself. Which, God, who wouldn't want to do that? Go over to morebeer.com right now and see how to enter to win.
Even I would do that. That's how awesome it is.
Because why not? You know? All right.
Because why not, indeed?
Because why not? Get all these updates and more over on Twitter and... Yeah. Send show ideas over to Scott the Jew. That's Scott, S-C-O-T-T, at thebrewingnetwork.com. Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com. Send your feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. Everything else goes over to JP. JP, who's on it? Answering your questions.
I'm on it right now. Send me an email. I'll respond. Don't care.
Do it right now. Test it out right now. See if JP actually answers. JP at thebrewingnetwork.com. And, we do need your show ideas. We get a lot of requests for different breweries. Oh, my local brewery should be on, and this local brewery should be on. And those work out really well. We get to know some nice breweries that way.
Yeah.
But you should also send your educational ideas. If you want Tasty to talk about some different topics or, any of the professionals we can bring into here.
Because Tasty won't know.
Any of your show ideas, homebrewing related, brewing related, we'd love more topics from you so that we can, accommodate your needs.
Indeed, and I do get a lot of good ones, and it's a good time to say now that I don't always have a chance to respond to all of them, so please don't think that it went to nowhere. I do see your emails, so keep them coming.
There you go. Send those over to ScottTheBrewingNetwork.com. All right, it's time for our Twitter game, isn't it, JP?
It is time for our Twitter game, Justin. That's right.
The Twitter game is brought to you today by our wonderful friends over at the 21st Amendment Brewery, who just announced their multi-million-dollar brewing campus. You'll note in the press releases, it's a campus.
Oh, of course.
In San Leandro, which is now making San Leandro one hell of a brewing destination. 21st Amendment opening a brand new brewery so they can brew a lot more beer right here in California. And yes, they're still putting it in cans.
At what point is it officially an empire? It's not the 21st Amendment Brewery, it's the 21st Amendment Empire? I think they're there.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think the construction of a Death Star has something to do with that.
That's true.
Yeah.
At least a third campus. If you think about it, Stone is probably now an empire. They have the World Garden home, the Death Star of brewing.
Right.
And then they have the whole second gardens down at Liberty Station.
Right.
And then they also have these little annexes, these little satellite beer shops where you just buy Stone beer. That's all they do. It's like a Stone beer shop all over the place. And they're building a hotel across from the Death Star.
Yeah, that's an empire.
I think they're an empire, right?
I wonder how much Northern California water it takes to water the gardens at Stone.
Down at Stone in the desert of San Diego.
If there's a weed shortage, it's Stone's fault.
It could be Stone's
which is kind of ironic.
It's certainly not Sully's fault.
No.
Because right now, a lot of his beer is brewed in another state. Even. They have their shortage in Minnesota.
And he has no garden.
The campus might, though. Although I've seen San Leandro. I don't think a garden's going to... I think it'll be more like a cement campus.
It'll be like a cactus farm.
Nothing against San Leandro.
There's a lot against San Leandro.
Like Nathan living there?
Yeah, like Nathan.
I love Drake's, and clearly the water's fine because I love that Drake's beer. Yeah. But you don't see any giant garden at Drake's,
No.
Not a healthy one, anyway.
It's a garden at Walmart.
It's more of a Walmart weed patch right there. So.
And not the good kind of weed patch.
That being said, I'm sure that the 2NA location is going to be fabulous, and we're real excited about it. Go over to 21st-amendment.com. You can read on the blog and see all about it. Yeah.
Where did we go?
What's our Twitter game?
Well, I think 2014 for us is starting off pretty well, but I would like to continue the trend through Q2 and move into Q3 with the Brewing Network being high and feeling really good about themselves. So I would like the Brewing Network Army to pay us a compliment.
Oh, to compliment us today.
I think we need a compliment. I think we're just about there. We're right at the almost the apex of our abilities.
Right.
And we need just an extra little confidence boost to kind of get us through the day. So, pay us a compliment.
I like also how you've got us in Q3 here in March 1st. Well, March 3rd.
I'd say through Q2 into Q3.
We're very efficient.
Then, we like to look ahead. That's the internal rebranding.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
All right, pay us a compliment.
Yeah.
The best compliment will win a prize from JP's little hat. I don't know where he gets his prizes from.
A little lower than that.
I think he gets it from JP's little hat.
Yeah.
The fuck do I know? That's our Twitter game today. All right, how about some feedback? Should we do that?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
You've got mail.
Kick ass.
All right, feedback's brought to you today by homebrewstuff.com, who's doing a great promotion here in March. It's March Homebrew Madness over at homebrewstuff.com. They're giving away prizes each week, and the grand prize at the end of the month is you either get a jockey box set up or like $100 to spend over at Homebrew Stuff, right?
Yeah, it'll be set up just like the basketball tournament. So there'll be 16 winners, and then 8 winners, and then 4, and it'll be a whole tournament. So follow it.
So each week, we're doing it bracket style over at homebrewstuff.com. You can go to homebrewstuff.com/promotions, and you'll be able to check it out over there. You might see the ads running in some of the magazines too, but they're taking good care of you over there at homebrewstuff.com. All right, a couple good things in the feedback this week. Hello, gents and Bevo. All I want to say is, holy shit, Pivo Pills is amazing. The only reason I bought it is because you fuckers won't shut up about it. Now I know why. Thanks for the great recommendation. Keep it up, boys and gal. We do love that beer, and so we're glad you went and found it. That's Anthony from Illinois, so he's getting it way out there in Illinois, too. Good beer. I had some this weekend. Camping. Brought Pivo Pills camping.
You have to.
Camping in the rain. All right. Brendan writes in.
Hi, Brendan.
Brendan's from Australia.
Oh.
Hello, Justin and team. I was excited to hear you're coming to the Australian National Homebrewers Conference this year. Although our countries have a common lineage that they were both spawned from England, there are several differences that I think you need to be aware of before you come. So you're not immediately identified as tourists.
I'm all ears.
You ready, Tasty?
Sure, I'm ready. I'm taking notes.
Number 1. Yes, most of the native animals can kill you. You may need to watch Steve Irwin reruns to learn how to fend these animals off.
He doesn't set a very good example of how to fend animals off.
Well, he does say just don't watch the Stingray one, as that one's still being investigated.
Right.
So, yeah. Number 2, all measurements are in metric. So you may need to either learn metric or get an app. Who wants to guess which of those choices I will choose?
Neither.
Right, exactly. All right. Number 3, cookies are called biscuits. This one is mainly for Tasty, he says. Yeah. So you'd be handing out...
Duly noted.
Tasty biscuits.
Tasty biscuits.
It doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, but I like it as
I could make some biscuits instead.
I think it has a nice ring to it, and it could be part of your international branding. You know, if you
international.
Well, if you have shirts over there, they should be Tasty Biscuits shirts.
That's true.
I kind of like the differentiation. Yes. You know? All right, well, just keep it in mind. Here we go. Number 4. Blue jeans, white trainers, and a fanny bag will make you stand out as a tourist.
See. That's the same here.
Which brings us to number 5. In the U.S., a fanny is a person's backside. In Australia, a fanny is another name for a vagina.
Oh.
Really?
So the fanny bag has dual meaning for the tourists.
Yeah. Got a big old fanny.
I believe I've said I have traveled internationally with a rather famous person in the brewing world. We stayed at the same hotel. We woke up the next morning. We were going to go traveling around the international city that we were in.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, he comes out in a bit of a tracksuit, white trainers, and a fanny bag, and a baseball hat, which baseball hats are really not worn in other countries either.
Like Super Dave.
Except in the hip-hop culture.
Right.
You may have seen that, JP.
Tuck your ears.
Was he chewing gum?
I mean, it was everything you could do wrong.
Every cliche.
So, anyway, we'll note this advice. All right. Number 6.
Which one do you know it was?
I do. Who was it? Just say it.
I think I've probably said it on the shows before, so some listener heard it, and they'll maybe.
Well, he dressed himself, right? I mean, it's not like you're outing anything.
Yeah, I know he dressed himself, but
He just couldn't believe it when he showed up.
Yeah, I was still surprised.
Like what?
Especially because
you're trying to be like I'm not.
Especially because said person, travels internationally quite often.
Yeah.
But maybe these things have changed by now. I don't know. But anyhow,
these things.
Yeah, you think that person would have you'd fit right into the crowd. He'd be wearing what everybody else is wearing.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Number 6. Canberra, or Canberra, I don't know how to pronounce it yet. That's the Australian capital, where the ANHC is being held, is a landlocked territory with no beaches. It is the Australian version of Delaware. So I guess I can leave my wetsuit at home.
Hating on Delaware. Out of nowhere, too.
Yeah. And finally, while most Americans think that they are the masters of the English language, this does not mean that they are the masters of accents. Please do not try and learn an accent or say good day, mate, while you are here. Cheers from Brendan. I say that's a pretty
Those
good...
are great tips.
Yeah.
Those are
good email.
Speaking
Very
of,
good.
of
Trying to help us out.
Yeah. Speaking of, to the point of number 1, where most of the animals can kill you.
Yes.
I came across this photo today on the internet.
Uh-oh.
It's a picture of a snake eating an alligator. For the love of God, why would you want to go there?
These are the things between now and October that JP will stack his brain with to convince himself it's fine he's not going to Australia with us. I did see that, actually. It's rather frightening.
Yes.
The sheer amount of poisonous spiders is what gets me, because they are the ones that sneak up on you,
They sneak. They're not known for their loud creeping ability, those spiders.
Well, if any other Aussies want to send us some more tips, that'd be deeply appreciated.
We'll take them, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what the hell we're doing over there.
No fucking idea.
Yeah. All right. Adam writes in, I just listened to the first half of the Brewmaster Challenge, which I believe he means the Brewcaster Challenge, right? The Brewcaster Challenge show. He says, my understanding of the origin of double IPA, of course, we were going back and forth about whether it's double IPA or Imperial IPA. My understanding of the origin of double IPA is that it comes from the Imperial IPA abbreviation. So instead of IPA, it's IIPA, being the double IPA, DIPA, or Imperial IPA.
Makes sense.
To further.
All right.
If you go by this, double IPA is really another way to say the Imperial IPA abbreviation. He seems to think it's interchangeable and easier to say than IIPA. However, in my opinion, using Imperial IPA does sound fancier than double IPA.
Exactly.
Which, of course, is why Moscow likes.
Yeah. Exactly.
More old. It's older.
Because it sounds like he's in the 40s.
Right.
Which is where Moscow dreams he lives.
Right.
Sorry, Mac, no bourbon, but I got an Imperial IPA for you.
Yeah.
And while we're drinking it, we can fight Imperial Japan.
Yes.
I'll pour another hand pump. You go dance with the floozy.
All right, here's another one from Australia.
By the way, I do think it's double IPA, not Imperial.
And not Imperial.
Yeah, it's twice the hops, twice the malt.
But what is Imperial then? Different than that?
Somebody's making a more generic term for
Imperial came first, though.
Double Scotch Ale. It'd be like an Imperial Scotch Ale. I mean, Imperials...
But you're not saying that Imperial doesn't infer double hop, double malt.
It does infer that. But it's more generalized for all styles.
Okay.
A double IPA is just...
But it's not always double the malt and double the hops, right? It's increased, but it's not double.
Are we in agreement that Southern California brewer invented the double IPA?
No.
I don't think there was any real argument against that.
No.
That Vinny did, in fact, invent the double IPA.
Correct. Well, let's just ask him.
I've never heard a legitimate argument.
We'll ask him. We'll ask him what's
That's a good. Dan Del Grande from Bison Brewing Company is in the studio. He's going to be talking to us about the Bacon and Beer Festival in the next segment. But Dan,
Howdy.
Imperial IPA or double IPA, does it matter which one it's called?
I think they're one and the same.
Oh.
Take a stand, baby.
I do like.
I know they're one of the same.
That is a stand.
Yeah, he did take a stand.
But that's unfortunate. We should have one, and I'm voting for double IPA.
And I do like the idea of asking Vinny what his opinion is too. Okay. We'll do that.
Should I tell him call in?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll clear the lines.
All right, Steve. Just going to keep ringing and ringing.
Yeah, we'll wait till
all right. Another one from Australia. Steve from Sydney writes in, "Hey, Justin and team. It was great to hear that some of you are heading to this end of the world for our conference and beers. To that end, I hereby pledge 200 Australian dollars." He says probably only about $3.85 in U.S. But hey, it's the thought that counts. "To the crowdfund source thingy. Let us know how to donate. That you know, plenty of us Aussie listeners will support this. Cheers, Steve from Sydney." Well, Steve, thank you for your pledge of support. We've actually got another meeting with the Australian National Homebrew Conference body this week. We're also finalizing our fundraising plans, and we should, within a week or so, be able to announce exactly where and how to donate. We're going to come up with other ways to raise money, too. We're going to do everything we can to get as much of the crew there as possible. So stay tuned to the show. We'll also put it up on our social media pages, the Twitter and the thing with the face, very soon, so you can know where to send your $200, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about the fundraising, I'll be honest with you, because the conference itself is like 350 people-ish, something like that. So we're doing some events outside of the conference, I think is the plan. Some listener-type parties. We just kind of hang out and, well, let's face it, get drunk together.
Right. Which is what you do in Australia.
But if only, you see what I'm getting at is even if all 350 people were to donate a small portion, we don't want this to be expensive for anybody, it's like $2,000 a flight to get us there.
Yeah.
And our stupid crew is enormous. What are there, 8 of us or something? So,
are you implying that some of us have to buy 2 seats?
Yeah, not that kind of enormous.
Oh.
Yeah, so anyhow, I'm just voicing my concern about how much money we're going to be able to raise, but I should have faith in you, Australian listeners. There's many of you. And I personally will also be doing some other travel. I'm not going to just stay in Canberra. I'm going to go to Sydney and Melbourne. So there's some chances for that you don't, even if you're not going for the conference, maybe we can meet up in other locations too. Yeah. I'm doing like 3 days of conference and then, I don't know, 2 weeks of Australia. Why the hell fly to Australia if you're not going to go see the, some of the, I'm going to go live in the bush for a few days.
You have a walkabout?
I'm going to have a walkabout. I'm going on walkabout.
Pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget your fanny pack.
Do you think I should do walkabout before the conference?
Oh, yeah. Well, you need to be centered for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know I'll never make it back from walkabout.
Right. That's what I'm hoping. I mean,
that's what the ANHC is hoping, too. In fact, they're the ones scheduling my walkabout. That was so generous of them.
I think you're rocketing up to number 1 on the death pool.
Yeah. I was like, don't I need a guide or something? They're like, no, we'll just drop you in this, we know this great location.
A guide or a gun or a car? Nope, here's a knife.
They said no, they're very supportive over there. I think they believe in me.
They should.
Yeah. They said, no, we're going to give you a 12-ounce bottle of water and these leather moccasins.
Right.
They call them moccasins.
You have to sew them together, though.
Anyway, we'll let you know how to donate soon. And a couple more things here. Dearest Brewcasters.
That's us.
I don't know what this is about. This one's a bit strange. I think it's about your interview with Anchor about their IPA release, Moscow.
Oh, yeah?
Was there a big to-do made about the elephant on their label? Like they're the only ones to put elephants?
I might have said that I hadn't seen that yet. And are they correcting me? Is it out there?
Yeah. You want me to read it? I mean, that's all it is.
I guess. Where are they
in the interview with Anchor Brewing from San Francisco Beer Week, there was a large focus on the unique Indian elephant theme of the new Anchor IPA label. Well, I agree that I've not seen many IPAs with this style of branding. They're certainly not the first. Odell Brewing Company has used an elephant branding on their IPA for years. Thank you for all you do. And the information, Aaron. So,
cool.
There you go.
I'm Google imaging it. I see it now. I was just more commenting on the fact that it's not common, given how it's sort of a shoe-in for the style. India Pale Ale and the sort of India elephants. Like,
sure. Surprising we're not seeing it on every IPA.
Right, exactly.
I see what you mean. Well, I think that's a good point, Moscow.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this label before, though, so thanks for the correction.
If you made an Imperial IPA, or would it be an elephant with a crown on its hand, or would it be 2 elephants? That's what is it, a double.
Oh, good. Well, the variation. I mean,
2 elephants.
Company could have the crown, which would be more clever.
Right.
All right. Finally, Michael Marino writes in, hey, I was listening to the session a couple weeks ago in the background while working and was totally surprised to hear my name called out because I was selected to win a beer from the Lost Abbey box set for entering one of my beers into the National Homebrewers Conference with the BN as my club. I got the beer in the email today and just wanted to thank you, not just for the beer, but for all the shows and the hard work behind them and information you pass on. Proud to have the BN as my club. I've learned more from you about brewing than anywhere else. Cheers from Michael. So, hey, you're welcome, and thanks for entering and winning under the BN Club. We hope you enjoy the Lost Abbey beer. Don't be afraid to send us a note on how it was. So,
I would love to hear how it was.
There's still a couple bottles down there. Have you not heard from people?
There's one left that I need to send out.
Okay, but you have heard from all our winners.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure that everyone's heard that they won.
Oh, no. Everyone should have their beers except for poor Pat downstairs.
Okay. All right, and finally, our spam of the week. It's a quick one. It's a good one. It's from Chan Too Soon. Tao Soon? Chan Tao Soon.
Too soon.
I mean, I don't know. Chan says, I am the chairman of the audit committee of UOB Singapore. I know about a secret account worth millions. If we work together, we can lay claims to it without hitches. And that's it. Respond and say, yes, we're in on this one as well.
Yes.
Yeah, tell him I don't have a hitch in my car, so I'm in for this.
It is sort of like an Indiana Jones movie. Like I've just found some letter, that was handed to me in the 40s that says, I know about a secret account worth millions. If we work together, we can lay claim to it. We can lay claim to it without hitches.
A secret account.
Why don't people say lay claim to? We don't do that enough. I lay claim to the front seat of this vehicle before we get to where we're going.
Yeah, not shotgun.
No, I would like to lay claim.
Hoist anchor. When do we sail? It's like we're heading off to the unknown worlds.
Yes. Well, as always, I assume we haven't heard back from any of our spams as of yet, but I'll take this one on as well.
Yes. All right.
Send the money.
Yeah, please respond. Yes.
Where's your bank account so I can forward you funds to start laying claim?
All right. Don't forget that feedback's brought to you today by homebrewstuff.com. I need to get us to a break, but first I want to let you know real quick about the AHA Governing Committee elections. They're going on right now, and there's like 25 candidates, so a lot of highly qualified people. There are some incumbents who've been doing a wonderful job. You can go read all of their bios at homebrewersassociation.org. You'll recognize some of the names, some people from the BN. Of course, Kim Wood, we've mentioned, is running. She's a highly qualified candidate. And several others. And there's several seats open, too. So please go vote if you are an AHA member. If you're not a member, sign up. You should be. They do wonderful things for you and for us, and we appreciate them very much. So go check it out. homebrewersassociation.org. Vote for your governing committee. Okay. Well, how was that, huh, guys?
It was great.
It's a great first segment, don't you think?
I thought it was fantastic.
We killed it.
Can we do it again?
Hello, it's raining in Martinez. Welcome to the program.
We need the rain, not for the drought, but to wash out the silence.
The weed?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
I don't know.
That's how we started. Dan Del Grande's in studio from Bison Brewing Company. We're going to talk about the Bacon and Beer Festival.
Yeah.
It doesn't get, maybe if it was bacon, beer, and boobs.
Sex.
But it's pretty goddamn close.
But
when we get back, Bison talking about bacon and beer with us. Hang in there. It's The Session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Hi, I'm Jamel Zanishev, and in addition to my work on the Brewing Network, I write the Style Profile column in every issue of Brew Your Own magazine.
Hi, I'm Sean Paxton, and when I'm not prepping for the Home Brewed Chef on the Brewing Network, you can find me writing articles on how to cook with your home brew for Brew Your Own magazine.
Greetings, cretins. This is John Palmer, and when I'm not writing for Brew Your Own, I'm reading it.
John Palmer, Sean Paxton, Jamil Zanishev. If you love listening to them on the Brewing Network, you'll love reading their articles, tips, and recipes in the pages of Brew Your Own magazine. Join Jamil, John, and Sean 8 times a year in Brew Your Own. And when you subscribe to BYO on the Brewing Network website, half of your subscription price goes right back to the BN to support great beer and food programming. So sign up for Brew Your Own magazine through the BN website today so you can listen and read your way to better homebrew.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zanishev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
A vial of White Labs yeast is the key to your best beer. When you open a vial of White Labs yeast, you're giving your beer its best chance for a perfect fermentation. In addition to their already incredible variety of yeasts, White Labs is proud to announce WLP 90, San Diego's super yeast, now available year-round. WLP 90 is super clean, super fast fermenting, with low esters and has a neutral flavor and aroma profile. It's alcohol tolerant and highly flocculent. For more of the latest White Labs news, click over to whitelabs.com, where you can read reviews of yeast, learn in the lab section, and join the customer club. And if you should find yourself in San Diego, White Labs has a brand new training facility for craft brewers and home brewers alike. Whitelabs.com. Discover yeast, nutrients, enzymes, and more for commercial breweries, home brewers, and homebrew stores. White Labs. It's all in the vial. A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and Bruin brother Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California, and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com.
This is www.thebrewingnetwork.com.
Sit down next to it, grab yourself a paper towel, and watch those yeast have sex.
You're listening to the Brewing Network.
The session.
Brewing up our next batch of radio gold.
Right now.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us. Got some things to do today. First and foremost, to talk about bacon and beer. Man, I think I'm going to this fest, Dan.
I know, I heard.
Yeah.
You're on the list.
Yeah, and the fun part about it is
it's tasty.
I'm bringing Nicole Ernie, who's pretty much a vegetarian, but she's agreed to eat bacon and do interviews with people.
Wow!
While eating bacon.
Has she really?
While high on bacon?
Yes. While high on bacon. I mean, we got to do a little BN style to it. So I thought, who would be great to go with me and do interviews?
Who can I corrupt?
And it was like, wait a minute, Nicole's great at tasting things. She has an excellent Cicerone palate.
Right.
But she's a vegetarian.
Wow.
So I thought this would be
is
great.
a smoky bacon.
Yeah. So, well, tell us about the Bacon and Beer Festival, Dan.
Well, the Bacon and Beer Festival, it's our second Bacon and Beer Festival that we've done here in the Bay Area. There's been about 10 Bacon and Beer Festivals across the country. It's a guy named Aaron Cohn kind of started it. He came to me and said, hey, Dan, why don't you do the Bacon and Beers in the Bay Area? So we did one last August at the Fairmont Hotel.
I remember that.
Yeah. We had 25 breweries and 25 restaurants at that one.
Okay.
And we were able to raise, along with all my colleagues, we raised $9,300 for Sprouts, which is Sprouts Cooking Club, which is an organization in Oakland.
Okay.
This time we're benefiting Oakland Grown, which is a sustainable organization out of Oakland, working on Oakland businesses and the variety of things that we can do with bringing the cooking and sourcing out farmers markets and all the jams and things like that.
Excellent.
Artisanal products grown in Oakland, or made in Oakland in the East Bay.
So all proceeds go to help out that organization.
Go to Oakland Grown, right.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah. So I kind of advocate, one of my little themes is to let people know that all these breweries are really generous with their time and their products. Restaurateurs are the same.
Yeah.
And so keep in mind when you're going to these street festivals, at least in California, that you have to have a legitimate 501c3 that's benefiting. And a lot of times the street festivals don't really kick that much cash out to a worthy cause. But I'm trying to do events that are pretty substantial for these organizations.
Excellent. You do make a good point. The legality of it is that brewers can only donate product to, like you said, a legitimate 501, and that product's not free. I think a lot of people starting new festivals in the for-profit segment kind of forget that. But we really appreciate brewers who do that. Our Winter Beer Festival is run the same way, and people donate the beer that way. And we raise a lot of money for Coral and for the City of Concord's music program, their nonprofit division, too.
Right.
But it's important because we couldn't do that without the brewers, and I guess in this case, too, the restaurants donating their time and it's real money, even though it's in the form of product.
We've got Zoe's Meats up in Petaluma. They're donating all the bacon to all the different restaurants. Right now we've got 28 restaurants that'll be there.
Wow.
And 25 breweries.
Are you going to have numbers about how many pounds of bacon were used up at the Bacon and Beer Fest?
And how many pounds were gained by the attendees?
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of bacon grease, too.
Yeah, there's tamales coming out. Some really wonderful tamales made with my chocolate stout. There's going to be these little crudités with bacon-wrapped scallops from
nice
restaurant. And all of this stuff is geared to go with, not paired specifically with beer, but you have a whole range of all these different creations from chefs, and then you get to find the best pairing when you get that food to go around and find the best beer you think will go with it.
So the idea is you go to some of these restaurants and you say, look, we love to have you a part of this, but you gotta come up with an awesome bacon dish.
Yes, they get all the same amount of bacon, and then they put their love and attention into it and come up with something delicious.
Okay. Oh, I see. So you give them the bacon on site, and they just come in and do what they do.
Yeah, they get the bacon 3 or 4 days ahead of time, and they can prepare it however they want.
Got it.
And, breweries aren't doing special bacon beers or anything like that.
Right.
Just showing up with...
Which is good, because that's overboard. Like one bacon beer, fine.
Right.
But if we had to go around and have 25 bacon beer, it's going to lose its luster after, 2.
Yeah.
So
like that.
Or for a lot of people, 0. It's because it's basically just a Rausch beer, right? It's just smoked beer.
It becomes becomes a smoked beer.
Almost nobody likes.
Or a beer with no head.
Yeah, right. Or if they use actual bacon, yes, it's a beer then with no head. That's a smoked beer. Well, that's good. So we're still looking for actual pairings, not just gimmicky bacon beer all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, the chefs that are putting their time and effort into this really have they're high-level restaurants that have some really creative things coming out. And last year, there were a couple of the pairings were so good they had long lines, just like you'd see a long line at a Russian River release of something.
Excellent. A bit of information if you want to go find it yourself. You can go to, baconandbeer.net /Oakland. Because Bacon and Beer is all over the country apparently now. So baconandbeer.net /Oakland, and it will bring you to the Fest page. When is it? How much is it? All that?
This coming Sunday, the March 9th, and it is a whopping $40 for all the beer and bacon you can get down your gullet.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good deal. With
because
all the
we run this
too.
really lean, most of that money is going to the organizations. We've got about 780 tickets are sold so far. Our capacity is 1,200. So
sounds like it's going to sell out.
Yeah, it will.
Okay.
Last year we sold out in the Fairmont.
Are mine and Nicole's media passes secured?
Yes, they are.
Because I don't want to miss out.
I just added Tasties.
Oh, excellent. Tasty can help us cover it, too. Tasty can report back on the show how Nicole's face looked with me after 5 pairings.
Yeah, it's true. She's got this issue.
Well, maybe you guys just started your Instagram account. Maybe you can, really try to get a lot of these brewers who are going to be there putting some delicious pork products in their mouth along with Nicole and you.
Absolutely. I think that's the key. So, now, Scott, I know you're busy that weekend, so it sucks for you.
Yeah.
But I will do some recorded audio a la Scott Moskowitz, and we'll bring it back that way. But I love the idea. I'll log in with our Instagram deal, and every time Nicole eats a piece of bacon with a brewer, I'll try to I'm pairing Nicole with brewers all day long. We'll snap some photos.
Oh, that would be really fantastic.
What if this turns her around, and she goes, you know what, I'm missing too much
Once
with
you
this
go bacon,
vegetarian.
you never go back.
Yeah, and
Right.
she just, she throws vegetarianism to the wind.
I think what's going to happen is she's going to go hang out at Whole Foods and eat hard tofu for 10 hours.
To go the other way.
Yeah.
Double down on the hippieism.
Well, it's a good point. Our timing is a little odd because, we just announced, I believe, last week that her and Nate, who's a vegetarian, they're engaged.
Ooh.
We might ruin her for him.
Yes.
If she goes all meat after this, she
Goes
might
to
be
the other side.
like one of them might go, look, I don't know that I can live like
Can you
this.
imagine?
I don't
with
know
you.
if I like you anymore.
Nate's like, can I take it back, or will you not marry me? I don't
There's no way. There's absolutely no way that Nate would go, yeah, I'm not going to eat meat for you. There's no way. You got to know that he's being a vegetarian for her, right?
Oh, I think it's the other way around.
I don't think so.
No, he was the veggie.
Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me a lot.
Right. So now, I should film this too. He should have to do a big sloppy kiss right when she gets home, all bacon, all meaty, all grease tasting.
Meaty.
Take an Instagram of that.
Is it time for an Adam and Eve read or what?
I'm pretty sure he's the veggie.
Yeah?
So
Yeah, he was.
yeah, so he could walk right out. He could be like, "Listen,
He could walk right
this
out.
is too much."
She would never let him.
Well, I'm excited about the
check
the
it
whole
out. It's
thing.
going to be fun. And like I said, last year we had a sellout crowd. All the brewers were happy. We, as a brewer myself, I put on events to make it easier for the brewers to load in and out, the restaurants to load in and out, and we did that on purpose so that people would want to come back and bring their good beers. And
Right. Where in Oakland is it?
it's in Jack London Square.
Oh, beautiful.
The very end of Jack London Square, there's that kind of unfinished space that's the would-be farmer's market.
Oh, yeah. So easy to get to. Very nice
Lots
space.
of parking on Sunday.
Been down there for the Eat Real Festival.
Yeah,
down, and
exactly.
It's a good spot for beer and food festivals.
Yeah,
too.
and Oakland Grown is tied into Eat Real. They do a lot
Okay.
of events together.
So it's for a great cause. Did you say 20? How many breweries?
25.
Okay, and 25 restaurants.
And
as
27
well.
restaurants.
27
right now.
restaurants.
What time does it start?
It's 2:30 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're in the city, you can take the ferry across to Jack London Square.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 1 o'clock ferry that leaves from the ferry plaza in San Francisco and puts you there right in time.
Excellent. What's this beer you brought with you from Bison here?
I brought a new beer that we released for SAC Beer Week and San Francisco Beer Week called Saison de Wench. It's a Saison brewed with rose petals, hibiscus, rose hips, and lemongrass.
Is this named after the lovely Ashley Routson?
Yep,
the beer wench
yeah.
herself.
She took my Saison and decided to make it pink.
Nice. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
She's like, I have an idea. Let's make it like my hair.
So what color it is now?
It's got a nice pink blush to it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And you're this is for SAC Beer Week too?
Yeah. I just SAC Beer Week's going on right now. I was up there today doing some events, and more events tomorrow and the next day.
I've never made it up to Sacramento Beer Week, only because we just end up so busy after both SF Beer Week, and we're kind of playing catch up the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's really growing up there, the beer scene at Sacramento.
Yeah, it's hot. It's good. There's lots of tap rooms that are opening up. My event today, I was doing a Cicerone training for the Level 1 Cicerone for a bunch of retailers, and
excellent.
They're interested in finding out about what they need to know to serve craft beer well.
Right.
We spent a lot of time today talking about draft line cleaning and what they need to do to keep the beer at the right carbonation level.
I'll tell you what, Dan, the Hop Grenade, we're opening our own tap room, might need to solicit your services for the same reason.
Wow.
Well, we want to make sure that our people are Cicerone knowledgeable. We want to make sure that they know how to talk about our beer, serve our beer properly.
Yep.
So we might need to get you in there, too.
Yeah, we do a 5-hour session where we teach people what's up, and then they sit down and take the exam. Which takes, about an hour or so.
Is that the certified server exam or the Cicerone?
Correct.
Yeah.
This is the first level of certified server.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, excellent. I think every beer server, I don't care what the place is, should have that. If you have beer on tap, if you have craft beer on tap, I should say, I think you should have to be, pretty damn close.
It's amazing when you actually educate people and give them, everybody knows something about beer. I mean, that's why they're in the craft beer business. But when you actually start to talk about things like, what's the temperature of your beer?
Yeah.
Why is it foamy? And give them some of the science behind what's going on. They realize, this is important stuff to make the beer actually taste like the brewer intended.
Yeah. Our product is important stuff. The thing that we sling is important stuff. Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
Cool.
Well, Dan, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
baconandbeer.net/Oakland. It sounds like you should get your tickets sooner rather than later if you sell out at that fairly low capacity, I would say. So go get your tickets now. I will be there. Tasty will be there. Nicole will be there. And maybe you'll have a Nicole eating bacon sighting.
Can you guys bring me some bacon back from the fest, please?
Nope.
No?
Even if I said I would, it would get eaten on the way home.
Right.
So I'd be lying.
Did my mom put you up to this? Tell him no. Tell him it'll be gone.
Yeah. Scott was my other. I was like, okay, first of all, Scott the Jew. We have to send him.
Nicole and Moscow.
And then Moscow wasn't available. I'm like, next, who does? Oh, Nicole doesn't eat meat. Nicole. I never think of who would be ideal who really likes bacon and
who can I torture?
Yeah, that would be stupid. All right. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
And you can go learn about Saison de Wench at, is it bisonbrewing.com? All right, do that. You can learn about all the Bison beers over there and support a great cause. Go to baconbeerfestival.net/Oakland. All right, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, it's the Maltose Falcons. Drew Beecham will be on the line with us. Everybody loves Drew. How do you not like Drew? They'll be on talking about 40 years of brew clubbing it. Hang in there. It's The Session.
Listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small. Single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy shit!
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zainashev, and I want to tell you about my favorite Heretic beer, Shallow Grave Porter. I love the rich, malty character of this beer. While full and rich, Shallow Grave has an easy drinking finish that isn't too sweet. I've always loved my homebrew porter recipe, so when it's time to brew Heretic Shallow Grave, I started with that in mind. but I tweaked it with all my latest recipe ideas. Just like in homebrewing, I made sure we used only the finest malts that would produce the ideal flavor for this beer. We used select British malts to get the rich chocolate and caramel flavors, and we spared no expense. The result is a beer as dark as a moonless night, with hints of vanilla, coffee, and chocolate, perfect for a cool evening out in the woods. Cheers.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. New items include the Big Oxygen Kit for economical wort aeration using common welding oxygen tanks, and the Unistat line of external thermostats for easy control of both electric heaters and refrigerators. In addition, they've just mashed their new oatmeal stout malt extract, so you can make those tasty winter oatmeal stouts and porters without mashing. Go to williamsbrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays, shipped the same day. Brewing is easy. The Williams way.
Hey, Wooly, I'm beat. Can we find a nice tree to just hang out in for a while?
You're beat. I've been swinging through this forest for 50 years, ever since we first escaped from the circus. I know, but there's got to be more to life than exploring this creek and trying to populate the valley by copulating with loose, hairy girls. Marquis, stop. Look. What is that? It looks like a man-made treehouse with fresh food and craft beer.
Welcome to the Creek Monkey Tap House, boys. Grab a seat. Creek Monkeys drink free.
Awesome! The Creek Monkey Tap House in Martinez, California takes their mission of fresh food and beer seriously. They only serve locally raised beef and chicken, as well as local sustainable produce. It's better for you and the planet, and it just tastes better. The beer and wine at Creek Monkey Tap House are chosen with the same care for the highest quality and rotate frequently to make each visit an adventure. Swing on into the Creek Monkey Tap House and enjoy a new legend of amazing food, beer, and wine. The Creek Monkey Tap House, online at creekmonkey.com.
Elo, what's it feel like?
Take awesome and multiply it by 2.
Yeah!
Spraying live beer radio all over your face.
Can't get any better than this, baby!
It's the Brewing Network.
Tuned into this session
because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
All right, folks, welcome back to the program, and thanks for hanging out with us. Need to let you know about Beersmith Brewing Software. That's right, your Beersmith Brewing Software, the best place to go put all your recipes and work on your home brewing. Go to beersmith.com right now. You can get a free 21-day trial. It's fantastic software. You know, every time I talk to homebrewers now, they talk to me about switching over. Everyone's listening to our advice, and of course, with the free 21-day trial, you hardly have to take our word for it. But I saw Kim Wood this weekend, and she said, I finally switched over. She said it was a hard switch to decide upon because when you're using the old software for so long, you kind of get comfortable. But she was already, happy with the outcome and getting to know it pretty quick. The good thing about Beersmith, if you're afraid of making that switch, because it's a whole learning curve, and there are a lot of features over on Beersmith, is that there are video tutorials about how to do almost everything on their website. So you don't have to be worried about it. You don't have to wait. It used to be that people begged us to do a brewing software show so that we could explain how to use the damn stuff. Right. Well, Beersmith has taken care of that by putting video tutorials right there on their page. So don't be afraid to make the switch. It's really great software. It's kept up to date all the time. It works on both Mac and PC. There are mobile versions for your iPad, your Kindle, all of that stuff. So go check it out at beersmith.com and get your free trial today.
It really does everything. There's other softwares out there, but this is the most robust. It does everything.
Yeah.
I've never heard someone go, you know what I really like this to do is this, and this. It doesn't do that.
Right.
It's, that's where it is. That's where I thought it would be.
I'm about to fire it up again for the Brewcaster Challenge this week. I got to brew mine this weekend. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes, but I got to get out the old Beersmith and punch in a Schwarzbier recipe.
You should.
Yeah. Which for me means I have to call Brad from Beersmith and say, I've watched all the videos, Brad, but I'm really, really dumb.
And then he'll go, I'll send Chad right over.
You realize I run a tech company pretty much too. Yet, to me...
It's not audio, though.
It's just anything that has the word beer or brewing in it, somehow it's like math. There's like a block. Like, I love to drink it and talk about it, but when it comes to brewing it or using software about it, there's some block. There's some chromosome missing?
Yeah. That's how I feel about sex.
Does that make sense?
I like to watch it, but when it comes to doing it, I'm not very good at it.
It's very difficult.
I thought it was supposed to last longer.
It might have something to do with your age. As you get older, it's harder to understand new things because you lose brain cells. And plus, you drink a lot.
But he's always been this way, though.
Right.
Well, that's a good point, but,
I started this thing, a long time ago. I didn't even have gray hair then.
He was but you were still kind of old.
A little, but not too old. Anyway.
So Beersmith is great for everyone except Justin.
Yeah. Although, it's even great for people like me because I am using it, and I did use it. The screw-ups in my brew are not Beersmith's fault.
It's as simple as Justin.
That's his new tagline.
Right.
Beersmith, as simple as Justin. And with more chromosomes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what do you think they mean by simple when it comes to you?
Yeah.
Just like Justin. Stupid.
The poster boy for...
yeah. That's it. Any marketing campaign that has the word stupid in it. That's a good campaign in my book. It's just
That's
like...
a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Just like stupid. All right, let's get the Maltose Falcons on the line. I do see Drew in my Skype window with his handsome Skype image. Hey, Drew, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Hey, I had a great idea. If you're having trouble with the brewing thing, maybe you should go find a home brewing club.
Interesting.
Probably a good idea. The problem is I'm the president of my own homebrew club, and so it's the blind leading the fairly unblind.
I don't remember voting for you.
Yeah, that's just
how did that election go?
This is no democracy. It's a dictatorship. No one ever claimed that the Brewing Network Club was a democracy.
It's true.
Yeah,
El Presidente for life.
That's right. You try to vote me off the island, fuckers. See what happens. I'll pull the plug.
I'll just invade your homebrew club.
Yeah, I'll join the Maltose Falcons.
Yeah, I'll invade it.
What then, Drew?
I think you have to be voted
I think
in.
we might be able to take you.
I'm not sure you'd want to stay.
You might learn too much.
I would be nervous about the Maltose Falcons. You guys are a formidable club. You've been around for a long time. It's your 40th anniversary, is that right?
Yeah, something like that. It's amazing.
And you are, I haven't seen any information to the contrary, the oldest brew club in the United States. Is that right?
Yeah, the only club in the world that's older than us is the Durden Circle Park Brewers in London.
In London,
okay.
Count. Sure.
We don't count them.
I'm claiming we're the oldest brew club in the known universe.
I like that. If you're going to go big. Who's in the room with you, Drew? Let's meet our Maltose Falconers.
David Ewell.
He's one of our board members. He takes care of our newsletter.
Okay.
I'm Colin Davis. I'm also a board member.
Excellent.
And between us, we've got 47 years of experience in the club, apparently.
But none of you has been there since the beginning. There are no old-timers in the room, I assume.
No.
Sadly,
I think all of our founders have passed away.
Shit.
In jail or lost at sea or...
Doing a hard time.
Well, yeah.
Down at the bar.
We have no idea where they are, but...
I guess passed away. I guess it depends on how old they were when they founded the club, right? Do you guys have information about the found? Because if they were 10, if they were only 22, then I'm like,
most of them were 21 actually
when they founded it.
Well, it's hard work running a homebrew club. It takes a lot.
Oh, we understand that. Yeah.
We were founded by a guy named Merlin Elhart who he came out of the Navy. Done a bunch of tours of duty, and came back to the U.S. and said, "Hey, where's all that good beer that I had over in Europe?" So he already had a few years on him when he actually founded the club.
Okay, that makes sense. And I have a picture of the founders. Did we get that up on the live stream page?
Yeah, it's there. Is he the guy in the center?
No, Merlin is the guy in the Kaiser helmet.
The pickle helmet.
Oh, on the left.
It's probably an authentic Kaiser helmet. He traveled.
Took one off a crowd.
I mean, back then you didn't just go down to Spencer Gifts and buy a Kaiser helmet. You had to go to Germany.
He probably put the hole in it that's in there.
Oh, man.
You guys have that picture up? Who's the guy to his left?
Sadly, Merlin's the only one we know.
Oh, I see.
It was given. The photo was given to us by another guy in the club, J. Howard Standing Esquire, who was a lawyer and was actually the guy who came up with our whole motif.
You talking about the girl to the left?
Yeah, the chick.
Oh,
yeah. Well, chick
it was the 1970s.
That's right. Long hair and mustaches.
Well, that's why we think it's a chick, no mustache.
Is it not a chick? From this angle, there's like a glare.
No, there were no chicks. There's still not any chicks in homebrew clubs, are there?
Look at the crotch. He's got a little bulge there.
Doesn't mean anything.
It's not just a big vagina.
Doesn't mean anything.
A huge camel toe.
It's just a huge. It's a moose knuckle.
Now that brings us to our next question. How many female members do you have?
Good question.
None.
In terms of actual numbers, it's not that much. But the great thing is that the ones that we do have are really super active and they're fantastic.
Our entire board was female about 3 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's a classic Drew Beecham answer. Well, in terms of actual numbers.
And then he proceeded to not give a number.
Right. In terms of actual numbers. Yeah, that would be the answer, is how many.
Yeah, his answer was not too many.
Yeah.
Wait, was your whole board actually female 3 years ago?
Apparently not. I was on a bender that year.
I don't know. I kissed a lot of the board. I assumed they were female.
Some of the mustaches did tickle me, so maybe they weren't female. Or they were East German females.
We normally keep Dave locked up in a closet. We apologize.
Yeah, that's okay.
But no, we
harder than most of them.
Yeah, we did have quite a few members of the board were women, including our president.
Interesting. Why do you think that is, given such a the low number overall?
Because I think if you're the sort of woman who kind of sticks with the homebrewing hobby and can actually, hang with the Falcons and not be chased off by the odor and the mustaches and the beards and everything else,
right?
You're pretty passionate.
Yeah.
So, that's the kind of person who's going to take up the position on the board.
Plus, we begged him.
Plus, there's a lot of begging involved.
We need diversity.
Now,
as usual with men and women.
How do you know who your longest standing member is that's still a member? Do you have numbers on that?
I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's one of two guys, either Dean Lynn or Master Judge Bruce Brode. I like to give him his title, Master Judge. And they've both been members of the club since the late 80s. Although, actually, I take that back. Steve Castleman is actually still a member of the club.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Who he did Pale Ale as a friend of mine that you guys used to close the show with.
Yep.
And he's been a member since, I think, 1983.
Wow.
That's a lot of homebrewing.
Yeah.
That is a lot of homebrewing.
And none of those old school members objected to Drew becoming a Maltose Falcon?
Apparently not. They didn't even object to electing me president like 2 years after I joined.
Wow. You guys are a crazy club.
Well, but let's face it. You know how it works normally in a homebrew club. It's the guy who's the slowest to put his hand down.
That president,
one who didn't step backward.
Yeah, exactly. So, what are you guys doing to celebrate 40 years?
A little bit of everything. It seems like. Obviously, we announced our style of the year, and we had a recipe taste off, and it was Baltic Porter. And it's going to be brewed by our good friends E-Rock Brewing Company.
Nice.
Yay.
And then just this past weekend, we had a bunch of people trek up to good old Mac's place up there in Paso Robles and brew a giant beer there.
Brownie wine.
Yeah, brownie wine. The big American brown ale that's going to be aged in rum barrels and blended into the anniversary project.
At Firestone?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, if you go look at the Firestone Walker Facebook page, apparently they were so thrilled to have us that they actually put up like 140 some odd photos. It's either that or it was evidence gathering.
Right, just making sure everything's on the up and up. Make it public.
Legal coverage.
So is this photo I'm seeing of, it's a whole bunch of you that showed up for that brew day.
There's like 35 of us.
God, what a nightmare for Matt that must have been.
Right? He's feigning.
What? He seemed to love it.
Yeah,
he's feigning it. Yeah.
No, he likes homebrewers, but I mean that you guys were in the brewery helping out, right?
They let us go everywhere except for the warehouse because we'd get run over by a forklift or something.
That's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't actually there that day, but from all the reports I hear, if you've ever gone to Firestone Walker, there's like multiple levels of catwalks and everything else. And apparently Matt and company were crazy enough to let Falcons just walk wherever they wanted, including like 900 stories up.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's not good.
Matt really likes homebrewers. Like, he actually likes homebrewers.
Or maybe he hates them enough to let them walk on catwalks.
However.
That's good. Oh, that's really cool. And what about the recipe for that beer? Did you guys collaborate on that?
He took a recipe from us. A couple of the members of the club got together and said, how about this? This looks good. And then, of course, had a giant argument because, you get 3 homebrewers together in a room. The next thing you know, you got about 5 different ideas for a beer, and 3 of which are right, and everybody's angry about it.
How alkaline is the water in Pasta Robles? I need to know the exact measurements to the point micron.
JP, I think you're giving us far more credit for nerdosity than we give ourselves.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, it ended up being it's a huge beer, like 28 Plato.
Wow,
which is big, and it was like almost like 4,000 pounds of malt and buckwheat honey and brown sugar and a couple other things. So, kind of a mess.
So
awesome.
you said he's going to use it as part of the anniversary beer, which is awesome. I think that's a real honor. But what about will it be on tap at the tap house as well, or what are they going to do with the rest?
Yeah, I think they're still working out all the details for that. Now, I know that he said that he was going to try and get some into bottles or into kegs down to us, but that there's people who make decisions about that aren't him. So that was either sincere or a polite way of blowing us off.
And what about the official 40th anniversary beer, the Baltic Porter, being done at Eagle Rock? Will people get to buy that?
Oh yeah, people get to be able to buy that in spades.
Nice.
So we're gonna. I think the brew date for that is set sometime either in late April or early May.
Okay.
And then we'll be able to lager it over part of the summer, turn around and kick it out the door. We actually made sure, in order to kind of fit it into commercial guidelines, that we gave everybody like a real short window in which to brew it from the time that we announced it to the time that we did the tasting.
Okay.
So that we didn't get like one of these typical homebrewer recipes that's like, this is 14% alcohol. It takes 2 years to age before it's commercially viable to drink. We wanted to get something that would be able to actually be sold.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. There's a lot of gamesmanship.
Yeah. Well, look at you not thinking like a home brewer. I like that. Have a little respect for the pro.
It'd be nice if they don't have to lose money on it.
Yeah.
and remember, Jeremy and Ting and Steve are ours. I mean, they came out of the Falcons, and so we love them dearly.
That's very cool.
They poisoned their minds so badly that they couldn't actually run a brewery. So hey,
beautiful. Now, Dave, I'm seeing in my notes that you've been a home brewer for 20 years.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What got you into homebrewing?
A friend of mine who was really into crappy beer, but he also liked good beer, he just said, hey, they got these home brewing kits now. Let's make one. So we got together, we bought a bunch of stuff, and we made our first home brew. We hadn't heard about ice baths yet, so this idiot kept his apartment at like 56 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona in the summer.
Nice. That's hardcore.
And then we tried it. It was completely undrinkable.
It was undrinkable? Is that what you said?
Totally undrinkable.
Oh, that's too bad.
So he wasted probably $400 or $500 on electricity for undrinkable beer.
Dave, remember when that was happening, dinosaurs were still walking the earth. You guys could just tap directly into the dinosaur.
Still, that's expensive. The homebrew kit was probably cheap back then, but the energy.
Do you remember why it was on?
Tip off a chunk of the glacier that's right next door.
Right.
Do you remember why?
More batches, we got a little bit better at it. So,
why was it undrinkable? Was it because it was fermented cold?
I don't think it fermented at all.
They didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's be honest. The first time that you do any of this, unless you're uber dork, you're kind of half drunk in the bag and going, I think this will work.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Recall your first Drew was quite nice, Drew.
Why I said uber dork.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And so, you did your friends stick with it as well, or just you, Dave?
No, I moved out to California about 17 years ago, and he wasn't interested anymore, so he just gave me all the equipment, and I came out with it.
Yeah. Do you competition brew as well, Dave, or just?
I have in the past, occasionally, not often though.
Okay. What are you guys drinking tonight?
Well, I think we're just finishing up some Saison du Swamp from Swamphead Brewery in Gainesville, Florida, which is a nice Saison with Brett. And Cullen is actually reaching into a bag to pop open a bottle of
some nice, rich, dark, American-style, badass porter.
And that's a homebrew then?
Yeah.
It doesn't have a name. It just has a alcohol content.
Badass porter speaks to me, by the way.
It's my favorite kind of homebrew. No name, just alcohol content.
This stuff I like.
Now,
it doesn't really stick around long enough to give it a name, you know?
It's like taking a stripper home.
Well, crack it open.
And truthfully, porters are Cullen's specialty.
Is that right?
Yeah. So it's one of those things where, every brewer seems to develop their specialty and also their blind spot. And so in some ways, the Falcons have been important for me for that because my blind spot is actually making porters. I'm terrible at making porters on my own, so I just call up Cullen and say, dude, can I borrow your recipe?
Yeah. Drew, do you think it's possible for a homebrewer just to develop the blind spot?
That would be me.
I'm just curious if that's even possible.
Yeah.
My blind spot is everything else besides porters.
Okay. All right.
You think about it, it's like an atheist. The atheist only believes in one less God. You're only sucky at one more beer than Cullen.
Right.
That's one way to put it.
Good.
Now, I also see in my notes, Cullen, and this might be interesting for other homebrew clubs too, is that you are one of two vice presidents.
Yeah, that's right. We have two vice presidents because the poor schmucks who stepped forward second to last are tasked with running our big, hairy homebrew club competitions. So it's a big job, so we saved two guys.
Okay.
So to have mercy on them.
And how many people are in the club itself? That you guys know?
Right now, it's somewhere about 300.
Wow.
Yeah, and now, of course, it's like most homebrew clubs, we have 300 people, but in reality, we see normally maybe 90 of those people, and of those 90 people, 10 do the work.
Right. Well, that's about normal. Although 90 people showing up regularly, that's a big club.
Yeah, we have our own little clubhouse attached to the back of our homebrew shop that sponsors us.
Okay.
And frankly, we're out of space in there and jamming bodies.
It needs to get way bigger.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen you guys.
It's smaller home brewers.
What can we do to convince John to move? I don't know.
Move the whole shop for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, he has been in that location now for, since, 1984? It's time to move.
It's about time.
He's outgrown the shop part, too.
The Burlington Coat Factory closed down a few blocks away, so maybe he'll take that spot.
There's
perfect.
A Agora that's empty.
I think that should
All right, stop playing, guys.
So, Cullen, let me put you on the spot. Give me two of your best brewing a porter tips.
Primarily, you want to focus on drinkability. That's above and beyond the most important thing about a porter. I think they're pretty much, underrated in the commercial sphere, I think. So you have to make it above and beyond. It has to be primarily drinkable beyond anything else. But also, aside from that, gear your recipe toward a nice complex malt bill. So you can't just rely on one dark grain. You have to have several in order to make it a very interesting brew.
Okay.
So I'm going to have some chocolate in there. I'm going to have some kiln coffee in there. For me, I think kiln coffee really makes a porter stand out.
Yeah, one of the most infuriating things I've ever seen is, again, I have the blind spot for porters. And so one day, Cullen and I were doing a club brew of a porter, and I watched him and I said, hey, what's the recipe? And he's like, I don't know, I'm going to go in the shop and do it. And I watched him, and he literally went from dark malt 10 to dark malt 10, just reaching in, grabbing a handful, giving it a sniff, and going, yeah, okay, and throwing in the whole handful, maybe grabbing a second one, and doing that down the line to all the different bins, sometimes rejecting a bin. I'm like, what the hell's the recipe? He's like, I don't know, a handful of this, a handful of this. I'm like, I hate you.
I'll tell you when I'm done.
That always drives me crazy about him, too.
So that part alone seems to me counterintuitive to your first bit of advice, because I feel like if it's too complex or you're not really I mean, you must really know about those malts. Otherwise, it's not going to be very drinkable. It's going to become muddy and maybe even a little bit unfermentable.
Well, that is a danger. If you use too much of, say, brown malt or something, it's going to be pretty nasty. But if you have a little bit of brown malt in there, it's going to be pretty nice. It'll give it a little nice toasty edge, a little structure to it.
Okay.
But you have to take all these things in moderation. But the thing is, you can have all this different stuff going on in there, but it has to be all within a bearable range. So you have complexity and subtlety at the same time, and they kind of carry it off, and they make for a good, interesting brew and nice, drinkable stuff.
It took me years to get him to write down the amounts.
Is there anything to stay away from? Maybe something that we commonly think goes easily into a porter that you've discovered. Just go ahead and leave that out.
Well, like I say, I did once put too much brown malt in it, and it was not so good.
Okay.
I mean, a little of that stuff goes a long way. So
yeah, we did a club brew once where Colin led it, and we were trying to do like the historical porter, which was supposed to be like a third pale malt, a third brown malt, and a third dark malt of some variety. And so we did a third of brown malt, and we hadn't realized that modern brown malt is an entirely different creature than brown malt of the day. That beer never was drinkable.
It kind of got there eventually. It really kind of aged into its acceptableness, but it never got real good. Yeah. That's the thing.
And that was after 3 years.
See, Dave and I could hang out because right. I can tell already I speak his language. I mean, it never really got good, but, we drank it.
We drank it anyway.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I'm the ultimate half-assed brewer. I just, hey, there's some grain. I'll put that in there. What do I have for free? What's cheap?
Right.
I'll put that in there. Anything goes.
What about yeast and fermentation temperature? What do you like to use?
Well, that's important to have yeast that's healthy, but generally I like to go for the English ones, the ones that flocculate quickly and attenuate well. I mean, it's just they give that nice little touch of fruitiness, and it gives it another extra edge of complexity, and it's I think it adds a touch of authenticity to the brew.
Okay. Tasty, when's the last time you did a porter?
It's been a while, but I'm sure it was a robust porter.
Oh, yeah.
I think I did one for Can You Brew It, too. I think it was a robust.
I think porter could sneak its way into the Brewcaster Challenge eventually.
Absolutely.
That seems like a good style, too.
Yeah.
Although I'd want us to go with like just your standard porter because of its simplicity, but like Dave's talking about, it still needs like a complex malt flavor.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
It would be hard to do.
Yeah.
What about our rules of only assigning styles everybody hates? We all kind of like porters in here.
Yeah, that's true. That would go against that. Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Well, the thing is, it can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be.
Right.
If you just want a dark brown beer, fine. Toss in a handful of black patent. There you go.
Yeah.
To me, it's funny with porter. I remember when I first started getting into good beer, which was only legally in 1996. Porter was everywhere. I mean, you went into a brew pub, and it was like, you had your pale ale, your wheater, your blonde, and you had a porter. Maybe sometimes a stout. And I don't know. I mean, like in the last 10 years or so, porter has just completely vanished as a thing, except for maybe the shoots.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know if I assume that part of that is consumer driven, right? We got into the hoppy beers, but my thought also is that it might be consumer driven based on a lot of people stopped making good porters. So we would order them and go, okay, we'll go back to your pale ale now. Thank you.
I think it's a lot of also.
You might be right about that.
People are afraid because it's a dark beer, and there's a lot of non
crafties.
Yeah. My whole thing on like why part of the reason why IPAs are popular is because it's light and it has high in alcohol and it's trendy.
Yeah.
And so people are going to gravitate towards those three things. I know a lot of IPA drinkers don't even like bitterness, but they want to get super drunk and it's light because they're actually afraid of beers like a Guinness.
Yeah.
And they're afraid of dark beers because the stigmata or whatever of
the stigmata
of the
very dangerous beer style.
Stigma.
Yeah. But at least
not a stigmatism.
But at least I know that I'm using the wrong word, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Not one of those. Anyway, is that dark beers are big and chewy and thick and they fill you up really, and they must be real high in alcohol.
Yeah. that misconception.
That's
a good point.
The color confuses people. And if you get a good porter like Jamil's Shallow Grave from Heretic, that beer can be a converter beer, like to get friends that you aren't craft beer people.
Yeah.
I've used that beer to convert people like, wow, dark beer can be
Me too.
amazing.
That's a good point.
And it's sad to me because porter was a really great beer to convert people with because instead of focusing on the hops or focusing on some sort of funny fruity estery yeast character, you had things that like you could get the coffee lover with. And in fact, I got my sister converted from drinking Miller Lite by serving her porters and stouts.
Oh yeah,
because it's a different thing. They just think a lot of people think craft beer is just bitter. And so we could use porters and stouts to convert a lot of people to go, oh, that's not bad. That's actually really tasty.
Yeah.
It's a gateway drug.
It's a gateway beer.
It is a gateway.
But that's a crazy thing, though, is you see all these tons of imperial stouts out there, and it's like porter beyond porter plus porter, and it's like just way over the top everything,
Yeah.
Burnt and hoppy to hell and boozy, like nothing else. But so porter kind of gets, I think, falls in the cracks where it's just kind of, okay, it's a drinkable dark beer, whatever.
Yeah.
Show me something, I'll knock my socks off.
Sure.
But, I just want to sit down with a big glass of really good damn porter. It's going to be super drinkable, and I'm going to be a happy guy.
That makes sense to me.
Cullen wants to tell his wife he only had one beer.
That's going to go well.
Yeah. Even I don't believe it.
So I just had a thought while I'm listening to you guys, and I'm looking at my notes, and I'm back to the original Falcons picture.
Okay.
I think that a few members, definitely including Drew, should recreate the founder's photo.
Yes.
That would be good.
And use it in some promotional materials. Maybe it's the poster for the big competition that you guys do. I don't know where to use it, but I would love to see modern Falcons. You got to do the outfits and everything. You got to recreate this image.
Yeah, you have a 70s party and you all come dressed like 70s people.
Find a Pickelhaube.
Sorry, say again?
A Pickelhaube. That's the helmet.
Oh, that's the helmet? Yeah.
Couldn't you say helmet?
Well, there's a... No, because that wouldn't be accurate.
Oh,
It's
all right.
kind of a helmet.
Right. It's a
Pickelhaube.
subdivision.
Well, from now on, you have to say Saccharomyces cerevisiae instead of yeast.
And I want Drew to be the one in the striped pants, sort of crouching down.
I think they should recreate it with those peoples, but where are they now? And so anyone who's dead, there's like a skeleton.
Oh, it's all of them that they said, though.
Well,
They're all dead.
That's the problem.
It's like the Walking Dead cast. It'd be great.
Yours is much more morbid
than mine. I really don't want to
mine.
wear those striped pants because, let's face it, I'm a fat bastard, and stripes like that are bad for fat.
No, these are vertical.
No, Drew, the latest in fashion is vertical stripes are more slimming than horizontal.
However, Drew, when I said those pants, I also meant that size. So you're
muffin top.
So you're.
I want to see that.
I think that violates decency laws in 49 states.
Drew Beecham, muffin top.
Yeah. This photo we call muffin top.
No, that's not muffin top. That's the whole bakery.
Yeah. All right. Well, just a suggestion. Take it or leave it.
You
guys.
should definitely do it. Get one of your female members to play the one with the long hair.
The one with the moose knuckle and the long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. See, we're full of good ideas.
Full of something.
Justin, we'll take this under advisement.
Yeah. All right. Now, who's your president now?
Right now, our president is John Aitchison. He's been another longtime member of the club.
Okay.
He runs actually a kind of a small homebrew supply store up in Northridge, but he and his family have been in the business of supplying taverns with beer and CO2 in the LA area since the 50s.
Wow, excellent.
So he's got a long history in the beer world in LA.
Yeah, that's some beer lineage. Now, I asked who your longest standing members are. Is that different maybe than a member who's been brewing the longest in the Maltose Falcons?
It's kind of always hard to tell because we have so many members who they seem to fade in and out of the brewing thing, right? We've had some guys who have been members of the club for 20 some odd years, and I'm fairly certain they haven't brewed anything in about 15.
Okay, yeah, yeah. They've gone the way of Crosley.
Yeah, exactly. They found others to brew for them.
Yeah,
and the great thing is the club is very accommodating of that.
Okay. Oh, I'd like to see that. Where can new prospective members go to find out about you guys and also about your events? Because you do several different things throughout the year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the headquarters will always be able to find out what we're doing is maltosefalcons.com.
Okay.
Which is a site that I actually use to wheedle my way into the club boardship because I put it up online.
Very nice. Good job.
maltosefalcons.com will always tell you. And, we tend to meet the first Sunday of every month. We go from noon to 4 to 5 to something o'clock. We do a lot of things. We just did the bus trip we did the brewery trip up to Paso Robles. We do bus trips down to breweries. Next month is obviously our Mayfair competition, which is now in year
36.
36.
Wow.
It's the oldest homebrew competition in America.
Awesome. That's next month.
Big known universe.
And they need to go to the shop.
Yeah.
If they just show up there, they'll be able to learn about everything.
Okay.
The LA County jail system is also a good place to find out about us.
At least many of our members.
Cell 2, Block 3. Our Bruno program is quite robust.
I love it. Well, you guys you're doing good work for Homebrew, and I'm glad to see a long-standing club like this. I'm also glad to hear the way you do your meetings. Nice 4-hour, 5-hour meetings. You guys aren't just there to nerd out. You're there to have some fun. I like that.
We always do education because education's important.
Yep,
that's my job. But we do spend a lot of time focusing on what the individual homebrews are, and we actually even have 2 individual homebrew tasting tracks where you can either present to the whole club, or you can say, "Hey, I want to present to a couple senior members of the club and get honest, critical feedback." Like the kind of thing that we always tell people, go enter a judging competition for.
Yeah.
The idea is come over to this one area. We call it the Troubleshooter's Corner, and give your beer, but you have to understand that you're going to get actual, honest feedback on this. And so we offer those 2 tracks so that people can find out what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong.
That's a great idea, and homebrewers need that. We all know that. That's a great idea.
Absolutely, I've seen so many brewers rehabilitated. We might even be able to rehabilitate you, Mr. Crosby.
Maybe I'll have to show up at one. Maybe I'll bring my Schwarzbier down, and you guys can check it out after I dominate Nathan with it. Yeah.
What's the line on that right now?
Oh God, we haven't made the lines yet, but it's got to be 5-1 against me.
I mean, it's generous.
It's Nathan,
super generous.
It's Nathan goddamn Smith, for heaven's sake. And I've never, Drew, done a lager before, ever.
Oh, you wuss.
Yeah, I totally, exactly. I've been waiting to brew a goddamn good ale first.
Or shut up, dude.
That's what's happening. I got no choice. I'm brewing it this weekend, as a matter of fact. So.
Good. And is Chad going to be with you?
No, I was thinking I would just get you on Skype, Drew, and you can be there with me on video.
Dude, I hate to break you. I'm going to be in Austin.
Well, then I'm fucked.
I was actually thinking about this. I was thinking you should try to brew a different style of beer, and maybe it'll end up as a lager.
Right. I should try to. It just happens spontaneously.
No, I like that. I like it. If Justin's
I know it doesn't happen spontaneously.
Just go about 15 degrees to the left, and he'll hit it.
You know what?
Yeah, try to make a Vienna lager, and you'll end up with Schwartz.
Right. Well, I was thinking porter. I mean, my aim is pretty far off.
Right.
I should maybe go for a porter, and 180 degrees later, it'll be a Schwarzbier.
No. If it's that far off, you gotta go American Light Lager.
Yeah, that's probably a good. And I'll just boil the shit out of it.
I know who I'm betting for.
I'm going to own this one. You're betting for me. I know it. Think about the line that you'll win. Think about the odds.
I don't have to play that. I've been winning so far.
Plus, I'm going to convince Nicole to sabotage Nathan's beer. I've got a lot of tricks up my sleeve this time around.
Yeah, you do.
5-1. Who's the one?
Me. It's 5-1. The odds that Nathan.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering who's going to.
Who is the? Yeah, it's great. Are you saying there's a 100% chance that I will lose, Bevo? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that what the odds are?
5-0.
Has that ever actually been a line in sports that the other team literally has zero chance of showing?
It's like, has there ever been a 100% chance of rain on the news? It's coming.
Yeah. All right,
Justin. Since you're my fellow governing committee member,
yes, sir.
I'll back you.
See, Drew has faith in me.
Drew's too nice.
I will say this, Drew. I'm just going to use Jamil's, Brewing Classic Styles recipe. I'm not messing with it. You know,
that's a good idea.
Just remember, there are no turnips in Schwartz beer.
Okay, I'll remember that.
Yeah, I've heard that.
The next round that we do, we should have all original recipes.
Yeah, I don't like that idea.
I love that idea. That's a challenge.
I'm in the losers bracket anyway, so who cares how it goes? I'm in the losers bracket with Nathan. Imagine my luck. Anyway. All right, boys. Well, happy 40th, and I appreciate you guys being on the air with us. MaltoseFalcons.com. Will you guys put information about like when the Eagle Rock beer will be available and stuff up there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll hit it with Facebook and Twitter and all that fun stuff.
We will parade that banner.
Make it available Thursday, please. I'll be there.
This Thursday?
This Thursday, I will be at Eagle Rock drinking lots of beers.
There you go.
JP, just for you, I will use my magic to will it into existence.
Thank you.
And, guys, what city is your club located in when you do the meetings?
Well, the meetings are located in Woodland Hills at the Home Beer Wine Cheesemaking Shop.
Okay.
It's within the city of Los Angeles.
It is within the city of Los Angeles, but the city of Los Angeles is about the size of Rhode Island. And we have members scattered all about the whole area, all the way out. Even here, just at the table, we're talking out of Pasadena at my house. Dave lives in Thousand Oaks, which is about 900 miles the other way.
Wow.
And Cullen lives right in between us.
885.
Yeah, SoCal people drive all over the place.
And they're totally fine with it. Like, oh, yeah, I'll just leave 4 hours early.
TO to Pasadena?
Yeah. Dave, he left yesterday.
They leave drunk and they're sober by the time they get home. I wasn't drinking.
Right.
Honest.
Oh, dear.
Well, I always stop at a bar before I get home, so I get drunk again.
You gotta make sure.
You make use of the robust LA area public transit system, right?
Oh, yeah. That'll get you from downtown LA a block away from downtown LA.
Yeah, that will only take you 4 hours.
And it'll take you 4 hours, right? All right, gentlemen, thank you very much, and happy anniversary. It really is an impressive feat, 40 years, and I'm proud of you all.
Yeah, to celebrate that impressive feat, can you guys send us some of the Eagle Rock and Firestone beer? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll do that just for you.
Thanks, Drew.
We'll attach it to an email.
Perfect.
Thanks.
All right, guys, cheers and have fun.
I'll drink to that.
Guys.
Bye,
Many
guys.
times.
There you go. The Maltose Falcons boys. That's Drew and David and Cullen, and they're rocking it down there. Good guys. Sounds like a fun club.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to be a fun club to make it that long.
Especially in homebrew. You can't take it too seriously. Come on.
You'd kind of fizzle out if it was just all serious all the time. It sounds like they got good support, everything else. Go to MaltoseFalcons.com and check it out. MaltoseFalcons.com. All right, let's do this. We're going to take a little break here. When we come back, we're going to get Doc on the line, and we're going to start talking Imperial IPA. That's right. Scott's already brewed his. Moscow, that is. So hang in there. It's the session. We'll talk Brewcaster Challenge in just a minute.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
All right, BN Army, it's trivia time. What's the only homebrew shop with over 1,000 recipe kits, $4.99 shipping on orders over $100, and is also home of the Wolf Shirt? The one and only answer is Austin Homebrew Supply. For over 20 years, they've specialized in creating recipes such as the best-selling Texas Blonde Ale, Apocalypso, Hop Bomb 2.0, and Double Chocolate Stout. And they just recently unveiled their small grain kits that produce 1 gallon of beer. Visit AustinHomebrew.com to browse their extensive catalog of equipment and ingredients. They also have mini clone recipes of your favorite commercial beers. They're the exclusive retailer of BrewVent yeast fuel as well, Yeast Nutrient, and the all-new Bodybuilder. Follow Austin Homebrew Supply on Google Plus to participate in video hangouts on popular brewing topics. So visit AustinHomebrew.com today and make sure you sign up for their weekly email with news and specials. Austin Homebrew Supply, AustinHomebrew.com.
As a brewer, you already don't settle for second best. You want great tasting beer and you want great equipment to make it with. So don't settle for the second best grain mill. You want a monster mill from Monster Brewing Hardware. Monster mills are tough, come in 2 and 3 roller designs, and are made right here in the USA from superior materials for longer lasting performance. Pick the mill that's right for you at monsterbrewinghardware.com and take Bevo's advice.
Trust me, it's always better to have a bigger tool than you think you need.
Monster Mills have the best warranty in the business. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit monsterbrewinghardware.com now and check out all the mills and mill accessories. Don't settle for second best. Get a Monster Mill from Monster Brewing Hardware. Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
When Blickman Engineering set out to design a great brewing stand, they knew it had to be strong, adaptable, and last for a lifetime. The top-tier brewing stand is now proudly available at BlickmanEngineering.com. It grows with your brewing skills and equipment. Start with 5-gallon coolers on its heavy-gauge stainless steel shelves. Then move all the way up to 30-gallon pots on the high-output burner tiers. Speaking of burners, the custom Blickman Engineering top-tier burners are extremely powerful, efficient, and amazingly quiet. They have safety stops to center your pot, and they'll last a lifetime and won't rust. The top-tier brewing stand allows virtually infinite combinations from traditional gravity systems to 2 tiers to completely horizontal. Configure your stand the way you want and have the freedom to change it at any time in the future. Your brewing stand should adapt with you, not force you to learn a new process. Visit BlickmanEngineering.com today to configure your top-tier brewing stand and to find a local Blickman retailer. You'll be surprised with all the flexible features and the competitive price. Start brewing with Blickman from the top tier.
Brewers, anyone can resell homebrew equipment and recipe clone kits. Get original at Adventures in Homebrewing. Adventures in Homebrewing has the knowledge and expertise to craft their own gear and original recipe kits that you'll love. Home of the Serial Killer Grain Mill, 220,000 BTU propane burners, custom stainless steel false bottoms, as well as custom-built brew stands and systems. These are just some of the items Adventures in Homebrewing designs and manufactures in-house. And the brewers at Adventures in Homebrewing keep designing, too. Original extract and all-grain recipe kits that are tried and tested and proven to be of the best quality. Most popular are the Blueberry Tangerine Porter, the Nor'easter Cranberry Fest, and the Peanut Butter Conspiracy Stout. Once you try one of Adventures in Homebrewing's original recipes, you'll keep coming back for more. And don't forget to use the coupon code BIG10 when you place your order to save 10%. That's coupon code BIG10, BIGTEN. Visit Adventures in Homebrewing at homebrewing.org right now and get original today. Homebrewing.org. Join the adventure.
Mix me your 100-grain amber recipe, and I'm going to eat it. And then it can ferment in my gut. It totally works. The beer is almost identical to the grain sandwich.
Your colon won't know what hit it.
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The
Session.
Sunday night, 5 o'clock rolls around. What's that sound? The voice of the brewing underground. I rush home. What's with the Abacast stream? Goddamn, it's almost time. Why don't you work? Fucking thing, it's 5:02. I reboot. Asshat iTunes. I hope Justin made the free FM commute. I'm on. Thank God, not a moment too soon. Holy shit, I just got booted out of the chat room. I won't rack, motherfucker, when you do your risking O2. I'll hail the Pope Jay-Z. Do like I told you. Do what he say. Well, okay, at least mostly. And hit that fucking whirlpool Viagra roast. Sometimes I don't, and I won't bitch more than a little bitch. Bye, I love that sweet shit that likes left and aerobic. Damn, my East will not prove and fucking booze being rude. Boom, that goes to blow off tune and fuck this whole chat room. I want out, just in chef, that goes my chocolate stout. And I never want to hear the word run high, skip out. I give up, 50G, why don't you push eject me? I'm screaming Gucci when D pushes me off the screen. Jamil, JP, Johnny G, I can't think, but then I hear Doc's little voice in my ear screaming, drink, motherfucker, drink, motherfucker, drink. The BN.
Got me going for a silver or gold.
The BN.
But do my bitch warm or cold?
The BN.
Crew, get unrefined.
The Brewing Network.
Life save 5 gallons at a time.
The BN.
Got me going for a silver or gold.
The BN.
You don't know the bitch warm or cold.
The BN.
Crew, get unrefined.
The Brewing Network.
Life save 5 gallons at a time.
I need some TBN Bach. What a shock, the Sully's horn is stock. Tick-tock, the visa's unlocked, Sean. Knock, knock, doc. Can you walk the walk? Pull out an airlock. A cock in his world flock. There's no mod box. Into the mash goes a butt crack like a true breeder. It's that for pale ale, my man, Boogita. Flew for you beer nerds, that's as you just heard. The only man I know whose name is a cuss word. Come hang with Jay, cause I'm a just and haggard A. And no one understands a word Daniela says. Either Biscuit the Pit Bull or Code Right Info will sniff your crack. If you got the Jane hat, dude, line Excel, where's my hat? Yo, Pip Pound Matt, bet trans is a low fat. And lunch meat some grab ass. And what about Crotch Rock? He's more than just down the block. And then there's homegrown hops, he's missing just like ours.
No, I don't know, I can't see,
But then I hear Doc's little voice in my ear screaming, who's gonna be out in the desert with me? The BN.
Got me going for a silver or gold.
The BN.
But do my bitch warm or cold?
The BN.
Crew, get unrefined.
The Brewing Network.
Life save 5 gallons at a time.
The BN.
Got me going for a silver or gold.
The BN.
You don't know the bitch warm or cold.
The BN.
Crew, get unrefined.
The Brewing Network.
Life save 5 gallons at a time.
Drunk of the year, Medtech, Henning's a train wreck. You wrote another hook to the song, hell yeah. What about a shun beneath sea? Come lactify me. I'm talking about the way your funk makes me call thee white bros. Come on, Chris, go ahead and ship me a vibe on the sweet little hose. That's a big fat redhead. It must be Sean O'Bed, or it could be Roger's ass smacked. I might hit that. This bitch, a flying donkey fist. Calling K's the shit. Downtown Met Scientist. Drizzle Bizzle, my man Chris Graham next to Morgan. I hope ALND proves to be hot damn. Damn, Sean Paxton and Gordon Commandant. I'm taller than you both lying down. Just don't stand. Down we go. Please don't cry. Although we're gonna rock the fucking roof right off this beach show. BN.
Got me going for a silver or gold.
The BN.
But do my bitch warm or cold?
The BN.
Crew, get unrefined.
The Brewing Network.
Life save 5 gallons at a time.
The BN.
Got me going for a silver or gold.
The BN.
You don't know the bitch warm or cold.
The BN.
Crew, get unrefined.
The Brewing Network.
Life save 5 gallons at a time.
Scream and drink, motherfucker, drink, motherfucker.
I could have mixed it with chocolate and vagina. It still wouldn't have helped.
Drink!
888-401-BEER.
This is the session.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for hanging out with us. You know how bad Doc is at using the microphone in studio? He's worse at using the phone.
I forgot to answer it. It was ringing, and so I started talking.
Why aren't you calling? We are calling. Well, I hear it, but I don't hear you.
Then how are you answering me? I don't know.
All right, it's time to talk a little bit about the Brewcaster Challenge. As you know, this round features Moscow versus Doc doing a Imperial IPA or a double IPA, and then myself versus Nathan doing Schwarzbier. We're not going to discuss Schwarzbier today. Nathan couldn't be with us. We'll discuss that next week. The good thing about that is that I think Nathan and I both will have brewed our beers by then, so we'll be able to talk recipe and process and how the whole thing went. As of today, I do believe that Moscow has brewed his beer.
Yes, sir, yesterday.
You brewed your beer yesterday?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. So that's one Imperial IPA down. And then I did speak with Doc today. I know he bought all his ingredients, so he's got his recipe and his plan to talk to us about. So we'll start with Moscow, since we're waiting on Doc to get in here anyway. And Dan Del Grande is still in the studio with us from Bison.
Yeah.
So
we're drinking one of his double IPA right now.
Oh, perfect. Good. Well, that's what I was kind of getting to, is that Dan could, as a professional, the only professional brewer in the room, could help us if we end up with any double IPA questions and, content related. What's this beer called that we're trying?
This one's a Kermit the Hop, a double Simcoe IPA.
Excellent.
Is this a single hop then? Is it all Simcoe?
No, we use Chinook for the initial bittering, and then all the finish is Simcoe.
Okay.
When you put Simcoe too early in the process, it tastes a little
cat pissy.
Catty.
See, and Dan, you struck right where I usually cringe when people say Simcoe, is if it gets a little catty. But that's your trick, huh? Just do it later.
It's all the final addition in the kettle, and then the next two dry hoppings.
Have you gotten like a cease and desist from Jim Henson's estate or something?
I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Never will. Don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Kermit the Hop. Love it. Excellent name. All right, Moscow. Why don't you tell us about your beer?
Being green.
You did extract.
Extract steeping grains. I kept it simple. I kicked Jamil's ass around the block and back with just using the More Beer kit. For the a black IPA.
Oh, yeah.
And, so I just did the More Beer kit for the double, and it happens to be Pliny the Elder clone.
Okay.
So I figure why not just take the recipe for the world's best Imperial IPA and try and make it happen myself.
No one will ever accuse Moscow of being dumb. He makes some smart moves. We'll accuse you of a lot of other things, but that's a smart move, I think, on your part.
Stick with what works,
You mean like destroying the spirit of the thing? That's all right.
You always say that, JP, yet we talked about these rules ahead of time. The spirit is intact.
Hey, just because I got outvoted doesn't mean I'm going to change my opinion.
I don't think you voted the other way.
I don't think we had
We didn't vote on, no kits, did we?
No. Or that you can't use a recipe. It was all clear.
Look, just because I knew I would be... Whatever.
You're in the winner's bracket.
Your mom
what are you
is in the winner's
bitching about?
I'm not. Just making a remark. Okay. I'm merely remarking.
Well, you will have to face one of the winners, Moscow or Doc, right? What's the other winner's bracket, actually? There's two.
Oh, that was...
JP and I will be making it.
Tasty and JP.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I think I will be making an extract beer as well, by the way.
Really? Oh, is that right?
That's my plan.
How come?
Haven't done it in a while, and it seems like a good...
Because he doesn't care.
Good chance to...
Because he doesn't care, and
put one arm behind my back, maybe. I don't know.
And so that way, if I lose, he can go, well, I'm just the ultimate because I can do that. And then if I win, it's like, oh, well, I didn't really try. I just used my extract back.
Right, gives me...
I'm not even going to...
It's a win-win.
I'm not even doing it. I withdraw.
You're just going to forfeit?
Yeah, well, because it's not a competition.
Tasty gets a bye?
Well, that's like what Jamil did with Scott. He just half-assed it and lost.
I won't be doing that. I'll be giving it all my all, believe me.
With an extract? I don't know if you can give it your all.
Depends on the style.
All right.
Did we give you your style yet?
No,
I don't think we did.
Not on the air, but in an email, yeah.
Yeah, you might revisit that plan. All right, so now you said extract with steeping grain. So not mini mash.
Nope.
Literally just a steeping grain. Okay, yep. Straight out of the kit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the recipe? Because I'm curious how many pounds of extract that kit
it calls for 9 pounds of ultralight malt extract, calls for half a pound of light DME, and a pound of corn sugar.
Okay, yeah.
And 8 ounces of maltodextrin.
And does that all go into the kettle?
Yes.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't talk about the brew day too much, but I did change up it when it calls to put that stuff in. I tweaked that based on people's recommendation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get recommendations from listeners?
Yes, and the forums and a couple of key phone calls I blew into, important people.
I got this great email. I'll talk to you about it when we do our recipe next week. But from a listener who was like, "Listen, buddy, I'm tired of you losing, and so I've outlined a few things for you to."
Yes.
And it was really good advice. Like one of them was, "Listen, just do me a favor. Do not even have a beer until you've gotten all of the wort over into the kettle, like till you've mashed and gotten it there."
That is the respectable place to start drinking.
Yeah,
for sure.
So he gave me that and several other really excellent tips, actually. So I'm just curious if listeners, had written into you too.
Yeah, and they did for the last one, the last challenge as well. So some key pointers that helped me win that one, and I'm hoping that'll be the case this time as well.
Now, back to that recipe. There's no specialty malts in there? Soaking grains or what?
Oh, no, he did say he did.
I missed that part.
Yeah, what were the special?
Yeah, the steeping grains were Crystal 40, 6 ounces.
Okay.
Just that.
Just
That's it.
What is that? Is that just color, Tasty, at that point?
Color and foam stability. A lot of things with the crystal model add to the,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And is this a full boil or partial?
I did a full. Yeah, I'm not. I'll never do another partial.
Okay.
I don't see the point.
So just for listeners starting out, that means all of the water and liquid that you had to add was all done in the kettle. You didn't add back any water later.
Exactly. The instructions will tell you to, boil 3 gallons and then add 2 later from the hose. But, with sanitation being basically the most important thing, why are you going to put hose water into your brew?
Yeah.
Just boil it all.
When you add you add the extract at the beginning or at close to the end?
Well, it calls for the beginning, but that's kind of what I was saying is I don't know if we're going to save the brew
You can
day
talk a little bit about the process today because I told Doc the same thing. Since you're doing 2 entirely different processes, we can get a little bit of that info.
Okay, yeah. Well, I saved adding the 9 pounds of malt extract to about 10 minutes left in the boil, as opposed to the beginning, which it calls for. Trying to avoid that cooked extract taste.
Okay.
And then some caramelization will take place too if you.
Yeah.
All right. And a lot of hops, I assume.
Oh yeah.
Go into this?
Yeah. This was the first whole cone hops that I've ever used. It calls for 2 ounces of Cascade right there in the beginning of the boil. So just dumped a bunch of whole hops.
That surprises me that the extract kit stuck with whole cone hops, Tasty.
That's what came in the kit? Whole hops? Wow.
And that's what it called for. It wasn't just some substitution that they were out of pellets.
No, sir.
That's weird.
And you don't use a hop sack when you did it?
No, I don't. I just used a strainer and took them out.
What'd you say, Dan?
I said, what does it matter if it's pellets or...
I guess for homebrewers, we only think of it because our kettles are so tiny that the hops, the pellets are more concentrated. So it just surprises me that an extract batch... But you're saying flavor and bittering contribution, it shouldn't matter.
No.
Yeah.
Do you think it's more of just kind of a gimmick because they look good? Or?
Well, I think the whole cone hops, they haven't gone through processing, so all of those oils haven't been heated up in the process of pelletization, and you actually can get some better characteristics out of whole hops.
Okay. Well, maybe that's why it's in the kit. Maybe Vinny said if you're going to do the clone, you got to use some whole hops in there.
Oh, it was a Vinny condition? That makes sense.
Well, his recipe, so maybe I'm guessing.
No, we just decided to I put that kit together.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And you guys decided, you went against Vinny's wishes, thinking that, we're more beer.
No, we're like, we're doing whole hops.
Thinking, I'm JP.
Yeah. Because he used whole hops, and we're like, well, why don't we use whole hops?
And we had a box of whole hops.
So he did.
And we had a box of whole hops.
Is this the only kit that uses whole hops that you know of?
No.
No, it's probably
others do. Oh,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then there were lots of other additions too. Magnum and Simcoe went into the boil. Columbus, and then some aroma hops at Flameout, Centennial, and some more Simcoe.
Boiling Simcoe.
Well, but again, I added it later than it said, so there's hopefully less of the meow.
Well, listen, I'm one of the judges, as we all will be. I hope that Dan is incorrect with that little cat sound.
I hope so, too.
Maybe looking for the cat.
I will vote down on cat's flavors.
Do I have to rebrew it and take the Simcoe out?
Yeah,
Simcoe?
It won't be cat pissy so much as cat pee-pee.
Well, that's acceptable. Okay. What about the yeast treatment?
Did another 2-vial pitch of just the Cal Ale 001.
No starter.
No. And JP was like, well, the one thing you should do because, it's a high alcohol and you make a starter. And I was like, well, I'm brewing today. He's like, all right, well, forget it. So I just did the 2 vials.
I got to admit, JP, Tasty, I'm thinking about just throwing a couple vials into my lager, too.
Lager? I mean, really? That's when you need to have a oversized pitch of a starter.
Or at least 4 vials.
Those White Labs guys, that vial's really packed with yeast, and
but he needs to wake up and actually get going.
When are you going to brew? Saturday, because the Bacon Festival's Sunday.
It's Sunday. I'm brewing either Friday or Saturday.
All right, well, tomorrow, Tuesday, go get some.
I got
yeast.
Time on it. I feel like it's another thing I can screw up.
He's really busy tomorrow.
Have you had a bad experience with the starter going bad?
No.
No, then.
Yeah, stick to the plan.
Think of all our listeners out there laughing like, I make starters all the time. I never had a bad starter.
And I haven't had a bad starter. They've been fine.
So
I had one.
Just
they also haven't helped you.
Yeah, they're also not exactly doing me any favors.
If it was an ale,
Either you're blowing like $50 on yeast, or you buy 2 vials and make a starter with it.
Yeah.
You might need 4 vials.
Because you're saying for a lager for
a lager, and that you're not like kind of rousing the yeast and making sure it's in its a good environment before you just dump it into that cold of a temperature.
Yeah.
You should not over pitch, but put more vials in than just 1 or 2. If you put one vial in,
definitely wasn't going to do 1.
Well, let's say 2 vials into 10 gallons. When would you have fermentation? 2 days, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why don't you go to somewhere like EJ Fair or something to say, hey, dude, give me some West Coast ale. Just put it in this bucket.
Well, in his case, that would have been fine, except mine's a lager. So I got to... Yeah, I got to go to... I'd have to go... I was going to say, I'd have to go down to Trumer, which isn't a bad idea.
Then you go to the Rare Barrel when you're down there.
Grabbing a little commercial pitch. Mm-hmm. I do have that double wall insulated Brewing Network stainless steel growler that would
perfect for
would be great for a nice pitch.
Didn't we agree to not do commercial yeast pitches?
No,
remember that?
No.
You came up with a lot of rules in your head.
When it was you and I, and you're like, I'm going to go to Heretic and get a yeast pitch, and we had this whole conversation on the air, and then we decided that's probably not appropriate to do as a representation of your mom has to find it as a representation of your brewing skill. If you're going to do a starter, you got to do a starter.
Sounds like I might have agreed to something like that. Yeah. Sounds like something I would agree to.
Right.
I just don't remember agreeing to it.
Might actually be a perfect representation of his brewing skill.
You were going to go to Heretic to Jamil to get the recipe,
and
then to Jamil to get the work, and to Jamil and Heretic to get the yeast.
But it would have been fermented at my house.
And then Chad to come and help you ferment it. Get out of here.
Yeah. I still would have lost. Okay. All right.
Meanwhile, I used a Rogue clone recipe.
How many gallons did you brew?
I did 6 in the kettle and probably lost half gallon during the boil.
Okay.
So I got a mostly full 6-gallon carboy.
And you still have to do some dry hopping,
yes.
Things like that
after the primary, yes.
Throughout the process. Okay. All right.
What day did you brew it?
Yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Any large any mishaps you would like to mention at this time, or you want to save it for, or did everything go smoothly?
Yeah, I got nothing to report. It kind of went well.
Were you by yourself?
My girlfriend helped me out.
Did you drink before
good question.
Cooling down the wort?
No, I kept it a sober brew day for the most part.
That's not true. I had beers with you.
Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah, JP and I drank while watching the Sharks game, but that was hours earlier, and I only had 1 beer.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Look at the professional over here.
I got a contest to win, man. I'm telling you.
Right.
If I'm going to beat Doc, I got to pull out all the stops.
How did you chill?
I have an immersion chiller.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that a question?
I have an immersion chiller.
I'm not sure I care enough about winning to stay sober because I feel like if I'm going to spend the time brewing, have a beer. I'm out in the backyard.
Duly noted to not vote for you.
It's nice outside. I mean, why am I going to waste the whole process on you people? I'm going to have a beer or two.
Okay, first of all, rude.
The process of being sober outdoors.
Second.
Yeah.
What he's saying is he can't do it otherwise.
Great. Yeah. I mean, it's a long time.
Yeah.
It's like 6 hours.
Why would I waste the sun?
Right. This is my point.
It's like a fourth of a day, man.
You are just such a disappointment.
I mean, I will have been done with the rest of my work day by then.
Maybe you could just brew nude. Make sure you put some sunscreen on your bad thing and then start drinking.
And just add another measure of fun.
Right.
It'll be raining anyway.
See, Dan gets me.
Yeah.
You have a high fence. You'll be fine.
Because to me, brewing is it's recreation. And who wants to recreate without a beer?
That's what I say. So do pedophiles.
Doc, you with us, buddy?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. There he is.
Okay, cool. Hey.
All right, Doc. So we just talked about Moscow's extract brew. Did you hear where he got the recipe?
No, I just tuned in. I was trying to listen live on my computer and my phone, and I got 2 different things. I was confused.
That's okay. Let me ask you this. If I tell you his recipe...
BrewingNetwork.com.
There's no chance that you're changing your recipe or brew at this point, right? Brewer's Code, you're going to just stick with what you're doing.
Oh, I went down and got all the stuff today.
Okay.
So no, nothing's changing at all.
So
the steamroller is moving, man.
Okay. Moscow did a Pliny clone, the kit from More Beer.
It's moving, but in two different directions.
So,
I was gonna do that.
Oh, you were too.
I was gonna go down. Oh man, I was gonna go down and just get the Pliny clone and just roll with it.
Yeah.
And a la Jamil.
Yes.
I just couldn't. So
you had too much
the OCD
self-respect.
took over.
So you made your own recipe.
Yeah.
All right, tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so you'll be happy to know that I decided to go with a 20-gallon batch.
Nice.
Whoa.
Attaboy.
Gonna be a party.
That means that I'm going to be sharing it with people. So
yeah,
there'll probably be a 5-gallon batch somewhere in your near future.
Excellent.
I'll bring some bottles by.
So it runs the general gambit of most IPAs or double IPAs. I did break up the base malt a little bit. I wanted to have some pale malt and some Pilsner in there.
Okay. What for?
A little, because one helps with the other. As far as I like the breadiness kind of a Pilsner, but it doesn't like to attenuate down as much. So the pale malt will help with that.
Okay.
Then I got some a little bit of white wheat malt in there to help with head retention. A little crystal malt, a little like carapils for some body. There's going to be some corn sugar in there to help boost the alcohol level, but kind of keep the body light.
Yeah.
The main thing is the hops. I really went through, did a lot of research on the hops. A lot of hops I've never used before.
Like what?
And I've never used a lot of the New Zealand hops or mostly any of the hops that are in here because
you're not an IPA guy.
If they're not
he's got like a Hallertauer and
yeah, that's what he's used to.
Sterling and shit.
Kent Golding for his English. That's it.
Oh yeah, but, Perlay and yeah, exactly. So it's either German hops or English hops for me. But now I've heard of all these hops, and I did a lot of research on what they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah.
When they need to go in, my dry hopping schedule. I busted out my hop back.
Oh, okay.
It hasn't seen work in 10 years. So
now you're speaking Tasty's language.
Doc's rising to the occasion. I'm getting.
Oh, he's going to.
It just shows you the power of all grain. He's sort of he's using the grains to architect everything he wants in the beer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Moscow might be a little trouble here.
Against Doc, you don't say.
Right. Well, one thing I was going to say right off the bat, just back to the malt real quick, or the sugar, I should say, is the great thing you got out of buying the kit, buying the pre-made recipe, Moscow, is the corn sugar addition. And you notice that, of course, Doc added that too.
Yeah.
And it is a great addition for double IPAs, right, Tasty? Because, well, just like Doc said too, it's gonna bring up the gravity, but it's still going to dry out.
Right, it'd be like a barley wine if you did an all malt beer.
And I guess I just mean you and I both, by the way, might have missed that part of the recipe had we built it ourselves. We would have done the imperial part, but maybe done that with all malt instead of throwing a little sugar in there.
And
corn sugar.
And you're saying, Tasty, that it wouldn't really be an IPA or a double IPA when it was done?
Not your typical double IPA. Yeah, it'd be more maybe more like a triple IPA. Actually.
Yeah. And it definitely would have had some flavor conditions that we would have gone, here's what didn't happen.
Your beer's a little too sweet.
This is already a bonus of the kit, is getting that corn sugar addition that Doc's doing too.
When do you plan to add that, Doc? At what point in the process?
I'll do it after probably one day of primary fermentation. I'll add it in later.
So you won't do it in the kettle?
Huh.
No, I want to do it afterwards. I want these guys to get working ahead of time, and then I'll put it in after. You got to be a little careful on this one because this is going to be a ripping fermentation, and you don't want to get in there too late with the sugar addition.
Okay.
So I'm guessing, one day after fermentation starts, I'll be adding it back.
Why is there a too late? Like, wouldn't it reinvigorate the yeast no matter when you put it in?
I found it doesn't really that. The yeast are starting to flocculate out, so maybe you only have a 2/3 or half of them in there. They've already kind of dropped out. And if you throw it in there too late, it'll start back up. You'll see it start bubbling again, but you're going to have too much residual stuff. And in this kind of thing, you don't want it. You can maybe get away with it in a Belgian, but not in this.
You'd rather them just kind of join the party instead of come late to the party.
Yeah, right. I don't want them to be the first guys at the party. They're going to show up with dessert. I want to show up a little bit later and have dessert. Throw it on the table.
Then I've got to wonder why do these instructions always call for this sort of stuff to be added before the party starts? I mean, you're putting it in the kettle, and I was reading, add it like toward the end of the boil, and then you're saying not even till after fermentation has started. So why are the instructions telling people to add it so early?
Because it doesn't matter.
There are more that there are a couple schools of thought, essentially.
No, you're doing an extract kit, which they're trying to get you to make beer. It's a lot easier to deal with it all at once than not.
Maybe, but for this specific kit, I mean, it's added in the boil. In this recipe, it's
as it is at Russian River when they make.
That's correct. So I mean, it's only a 7% beer. It's not like 8. It's not going to 8. It's not going to kill the yeast. If this is why I was suggesting you should think about doing a starter.
Which is too late.
Yeah, well, it's too late now. But I mean, you can just go ahead and add it into the. It's fine.
You could do a starter tonight if you want to add it. A couple days.
Ultimately, it's not. I mean, doing it Doc's way or adding in the boil, I doubt it. One's going to be different than the other. Maybe Doc is hedging his bet a little bit more, but if you were to add it in the kettle, maybe Dan can speak on that a little bit more. You would want a pretty healthy yeast starter because you do have all that residual sugar that the yeast has to plow through, and you need a healthy yeast culture.
Yeah, well, the yeast is ramping up for the first 20 to 30 hours of fermentation. So as long as you add it before the yeast starts to die off, it doesn't really matter if you add it in the very beginning in the kettle, like your extract instructions, or if you add it towards the end of that burst of
that ramp up.
The ramp up of the yeast, the number of cells that divide and cell growth. As the cell growth curve goes down, they're less able to attenuate that stuff in a reasonable period of time.
Okay. And similar to what Doc was saying, too, he doesn't want to miss that curve. He wants it to happen while that stuff's bursting.
And as a homebrewer, the one thing you got to work on is your sanitation. When you add that sugar slug on, day 2 or whatever your fermentation, you have to make sure you boil it all up, 10, 15 minutes of boil, and then use your immersion chiller again before you knock it in.
Oh, you're not just throwing a big hot batch of...
Yeah, you'll just kill the yeast.
Warm, okay, but not hot.
I'm glad you pointed that out because I would have totally forgotten about that part,
man. You don't want to
Dan.
just throw it in there.
Yeah. So you're gonna turn it into a liquid solution and cool it off as well, Doc?
Well, damn right I am.
Yeah.
Homebrewers.
It's going in there.
I definitely would have fucked
that. It's going in the Erlenmeyer with a minimal amount of water. It's going to be heated. Then that sugar added. Then it'll be cooled down in a water bath and then added back.
Okay.
It'll all be a sterile.
He does.
So yes, of course I do.
He's got them for like 5-gallon carboy size.
Really?
He has multiple stir plates.
Wow. The size of that bar.
And Doc built my stir plate too. I suppose I should use it.
You should.
Yeah, it'd be awesome if you did.
I did it last time.
Yeah, for a
lot of good it did me.
You've just been using it to warm up your lube.
Is that the problem?
Yeah, well, the whole idea is to get this to not stall out at 10:15. I want to get this down at about 10:11.
And what is the OG? What are you starting at?
1084.
What was yours, Moscow, on your kit?
1073.
Okay. Did you measure it after?
Yeah.
You did? And that's where you hit?
Yeah.
Is that where it's supposed to be?
Yeah, right in the range.
Nice. Attaboy. Maybe I ought to buy a kit.
Hey, Daisy, do you have a recommendation as an upper percentage of how much sugar you should add as a percentage of the total grist?
Yeah, and a double IPA, I think, like no more than 8% is about what I'd like to think. Otherwise, you get a little more like cidery character kind of thing.
Okay. What's your percentage of the corn sugar, Doc? Do you know?
It's about 9.
About 9.
About, a little like 9.2, something like that. But it's a lot more stuff in here too. So,
okay.
I just don't want the main thing with adding it too soon is the yeast see that and they want to maul on that first, so they don't start making the other enzymes they're going to need to break down the more complex sugars.
Yeah.
So it can leave with a higher finishing gravity just because of that stuff.
Well, and if you go ahead, Doc. Sorry,
I'm hedging my bet basically all the way around because this is a big beer, and I want it to finish pretty damn dry.
Are you going to split it between your two 10-gallon fermenters and use different yeast, or are you going to do it all in one shot?
No, I'm going to make it all in one shot. I'm pretty confident about this one. And
is it the recipe or the competition?
No,
frankly,
the recipe.
Any brewer that's half a brewer at all can make a good double IPA. So Doc, he's more known to make the finer beers that are hard to make.
Yeah.
And make well. So he's probably got the right attitude. This is
crap. I
pretty easy
gave you guys
for him.
the wrong style.
Not to be nitpicky or anything, but on the cidery comment, that's not exactly true.
Okay.
That's a homebrew. Like, you can add a lot of corn sugar and not get a cidery taste to it.
This Kermit the Hop has got 17%.
Yeah.
70% corn sugar.
As long as you have a good enough ferment, a strong enough starter, it's just one of those homebrew myths, like extract taste.
Yeah.
So if it's under fermented with sugar, then it's going to have a cidery character.
But if it actually, if it actually ferments out, then
if you do a good job, you could. The corn sugar itself doesn't lend a cidery taste. It's your fermentation off flavors.
Okay. Well, that's a good point. So again, just back to a big healthy yeast pitch and fermenting it correctly.
Yeah.
And this beer is not cidery. The Kermit the Frog that we're drinking now.
Or the hop.
Kermit the Hop. And this is 17% corn sugar.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
All right. Thank you, JP.
Sorry.
All right, Doc. Anything else we should know now? Of course, we're going to follow up with you after your brew day, but any other tricks you'd like to reveal about your recipe or anything else?
Yeah, I really try to marry up a lot of the different hops together with the flavors that they're going to bring to the table, and I'm steering away from the grapefruit kind of issues and the citrus grapefruit kind of stuff. So
okay,
I'm steering it in a whole different direction.
Give us a list. Give us some of these hops.
I'm using some Waiiti, some Meridian, Falconer's Flight, Calypso.
Meridian.
Well, he is using hops he's never used before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, HPC 342.
Oh, yeah.
Motown song?
Yeah. It's also by Aretha. Yeah. See, you know what I like about Doc's philosophy here is if he's going to brew a beer style that he is probably never going to brew again and certainly hasn't really dealt with it because he doesn't want to drink it, why not learn something from it? So I'm going to go pick a whole bunch of hops I never used before. And that's a good way to do it. Well, for a guy who's got talent. You know.
I just researched the hell out of these things and, kind of what they're known for. And, I listen to Nate and Tasty, and it's all about marrying the hops together and not just going nutty in here and then just throwing the kitchen sink at it.
Right. I like it. How many different kinds of hops are in your recipe, Moscow?
I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. 4.
4.
Yes.
Okay. And then, of course, they just double up on the amounts in different places in the dry
Imperial
hopping
up,
again.
yes, they do.
Yeah, dry hop with the same hops that are in the kettle as well.
The Imperial up on
or are the dry hops different?
No, they are all used in the boil as well. Columbus, Centennial, and Simcoe.
What about you, Doc? Are pretty much the same hops that are going in the kettle also going to go in your dry hop?
No.
No, different.
Well, the first dry hop will be pretty much the same ones that are in the kettle, and then the second dry hop will be kind of a whole. It'll be the distant cousins invited to the party.
Okay.
I think Doc just wants to go to a party.
Oh, what else is there?
It's like he's just hinting at. Can someone invite me to a party?
Well, Tasty, what do you think? Doc's strategy sounds pretty sound.
Yeah, well, it would. That's what Doc does. Sound brewing, and he applies himself. Sure.
I like Moscow's decision to go with the Pliny kit. Yeah. I think we're going to get two good... if the fermentation goes well, okay, that's the remaining part for Moscow, then we're going to get two pretty damn good beers to try for this Brewcaster Challenge, I think. All right, what's the reveal date for this one? Did we give that to you guys?
I think so. I think we're going to try and do this on the April 7 show.
April 7th.
Yeah, that's what I heard, too.
Yes.
So my brew date is hopefully...
You just hang up?
Just leaving us. He's leaving us hanging.
I don't hear any background noise.
That's the Doc equivalent of like just throwing down the microphone on stage. Out!
My brew day is...
Wow. Well, that was interesting. Things were going so... Either that or he just fell over. He was doing fine and he just literally... That was it. He fell over.
His robot ran out of batteries.
April 7th. So it sounds like... I think his brew day is going for this weekend, too. Just like me and Nate. Nate and I, we'll talk about our beers next week. Our reveal looks like it's going to be April 21st. We need a little longer for the lager. In my case, maybe even longer than that, but we'll see.
Yeah, the double IP reveal will be fun. On that show, we'll have Ann Riley in the studio. She is one of the original California homebrewers who pioneered the legislation that legalized homebrewing in the first place.
Yeah.
And so she'll be here to taste the double IPAs and see what her legislative efforts have allowed.
I am excited about that.
Hopefully she's not disappointed.
Yeah, I suspect she'll be like, wow, this is what I worked for?
I met her at our...
Come to this, how's it?
I met her at our Winter Brews Festival.
Yeah.
Kate the Great introduced me to her, and, Kate said, hey, she's one of the people responsible for legalizing homebrewing. And I said, I hear this kind of stuff all the time. So I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And I go talk to her, and I'll be damned. She's one of the people responsible for legalizing homebrewing in the state of California.
Yep.
Because, of course, it was legalized federally, but it still was a state deal. And she went through all of the legwork with others to actually make it happen for us. And I realized very quickly that she was the real deal. She was very humble about it and but excited, that it was an important part of her life. You could tell she was pretty proud of it. So I thought, well, you got to come on and talk about this.
Absolutely. And when I talked to her after the fest, and Kate gave me her info, I called her up and we were talking, and she's like, well, I wrote an article on it, and let me send that over to you. And she did. She sent it via U.S. mail, and it was written on a typewriter.
Nice. Wow. It's like the original article?
Yes.
Do you have to send it back or just give it back to her at the...
No, I made copies. So
Right. All right, excellent. Well, that'll be a good show, and then, of course, we'll do that Brewcaster Challenge for the double IPA, and then a couple weeks later, we'll do our Schwartz beer. You'll hear about Nathan and I's beer next week.
Yeah,
I'm probably going to do a starter.
Well, you should. I think you should. It'll, it's
I'm
a
all
test
for
of your brewing
starters.
prowess.
I'm totally all for starters. I'm just like, I don't know. It's like it feels like the thing I don't screw up. So fuck it, just throw some vials in there.
Well, you could. All I'm saying is if you don't do a starter, you should do more than 2 or 3 vials.
Yeah. No, I'll go over to MrMalty.com. I'll use Jamil's little yeast starter calculator.
And have Chad over.
And
you saw him make a lot of starters.
That's a given.
I can do the starters, And I don't need to hear JP cry like a little bitch every time I mention my beer again.
Just because
Even though Chad was there just hanging out.
You mean the beer Chad brewed?
It didn't look like Chad was just hanging out when I was there.
Or I would go, hey, Chad, I'm about to do this. Does that sound right? Yes or no?
And I would jump out of the bushes, go, I got you, fucker!
Yeah. So, no, I'll do it solo with a fucking 12-pack and a keg of beer.
Naked.
Naked. And only sunblock on my junk. That's how I'm brewing. All right, well, we'll hear more from Doc next week, too, after his brew day, and we'll get it all dialed in. All right, I'm excited to taste all these beers. When we come back, we're going to do a little bit of beer news. Got a couple other things to finish up, so hang in there. It's The Session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
What'd you get? More brewing ingredients?
Yep. You know what I love about Brewmaster's Warehouse?
The $6.99 shipping?
Well, yeah, but...
Oh, the in-store classes for beginning brewers.
Yeah, that's cool, but...
Oh, the Brew Builder. Creating and saving your recipes online is awesome!
No, yes, but...
The cheese-making supplies.
No.
Oh, the wine-making supplies. Oh, the distilling equipment and liquor flavorings.
All that stuff is awesome, yes, but what I really love is that the guy who runs it is totally hot. And that Brew Builder software is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Brewmaster's Warehouse brings you flat rate shipping on great equipment and ingredients to make beer, wine, cheese, and spirits at brewmasterswarehouse.com. And if you're in Georgia, stop by Brewmaster's Warehouse Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Visit brewmasterswarehouse.com today because it's totally hot.
Oh, yeah.
There's an app on the iPhone for just about everything, including beer. Apps for finding a pint of beer. Apps that look like you're drinking a pint of beer. And now, there's an app for brewing a pint of beer. Introducing BrewPal, the most all-inclusive beer brewing app for professionals and hobbyists that fits in your pocket and goes wherever you do. Recipe formulation that can be imported and exported with a customizable database. Mash and sparge calculations, yeast pitching rates, carbonation tables, and more. Available right now for less coin than a pound of grain. See BrewPal in action at brewpal.info and download it for your iPhone at a special introductory price right now. BrewPal, all the brewing software you need, right in your pocket. Here's a bite for beer lovers. Soft caramel made with real craft brew and coated in chocolate. And Hop Drops, hard candies made with real hop oil. Introducing Beer Candy from beercandy.com. Beer Candy's amazing caramels come in 4 mouth-watering flavors. IPA, bitter gold, wrapped in smooth white chocolate. Lager, made with a familiar beer from Boston and coated in milk chocolate. Lambic, soury Belgian goodness full of fresh raspberry and dipped in dark chocolate. And Stout, roasty cocoa chocolate insanity. Hop Drops are made with Fuggles or Cascade hops and are known as the candy that bites you back. Choose from sampler and full sizes of both and make your mouth jump to life. All at beercandy.com. Hop Drops and beer caramels. Satisfy your sweet tooth as only a beer lover could with Beer Candy. Visit beercandy.com today.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for any beer style. I want a Cicerone. The Cicerone certification program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious, Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Hi, I'm Jason Harris, the proud owner here at Keystone Homebrew Supply. We're thrilled to be entering our 20th year of supplying this great industry, and to show you, the Brewing Network Army, how much we appreciate your support, we're offering you 10% off your first order on our website, KeystoneHomebrew.com. Just use coupon code BNARMY at checkout, and I'll get your order out the same day. My goal at Keystone Homebrew Supply has always been to have a complete supply of everything a brewer could want. When you place your order online or when you come into our store, it's our goal to have everything on your list and more. One aspect of KeystoneHomebrew.com that we're really excited about is the ability to fulfill customers' exact grain bills. Do you hate to wait? Keystone Homebrew Supply can get your precious yeast and hops to you within just one day if you live between Connecticut and Virginia, and within 2 days east of the Mississippi. KeystoneHomebrew.com. Coupon code BNARMY. I'm Jason Harris, and I approve this message.
Wait till you can pour it out of your own kegerator.
I mean, your friends will look at you with awe.
And it's just hot.
It is?
It's so super hot.
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
Radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The
Session.
Hilo, what's it feel like?
Take awesome and multiply it by 2.
Yeah! Spraying live beer radio all over your face.
Can't get any better than this, baby.
It's the Brewing Network.
you're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer,
radio shouldn't suck.
Just a little minute there for us to stuff our faces.
Got some spicy pizza.
Yeah. Got a little... I should...
Speaking of spicy.
Yeah. It's time for a little Adam and Eve action. That's right. Go to adamandeve.com right now and use coupon code BNARMY. And you know what you get, right? We've told you about this before. You get one item at 50% off. Just about any item they have, you can get at that. So you pick the expensive one. 50% off. Then you get 3 free adult DVDs. We've been discussing a lot of genres recently.
Very numerous amounts of things.
Yeah, and there's lots of them over there, but I think what we've discovered is if there's a genre that you want, it's there, and you get to pick one of your 3 free adult DVDs. And then, you know, when your internet goes down, your boner doesn't. You still have access to...
That happened to me on Friday.
Wait a minute.
My internet went, I was like, really, dude?
Right in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, mwah, mwah. Because you weren't finished.
No, well, I hadn't started. I was thinking about it.
And the internet goes down. Well, with your 3 free adult DVDs, you don't have to worry about it.
See?
Unless your power goes out. But you have a laptop. Yes! So, listen, we're trying to help you out here. All right. Also, then you get free shipping and a free gift, a free extra gift. And I guess you get different gifts depending on your order. Just use coupon code BNARMY for all of these wonderful things over at adamandeve.com right now.
You know what that one item at 50% off will not be, according to Dan Del Grande, which is is a bacon-flavored lubricant.
Oh.
So she said he scoured Adam and Eve for that item, and as far as he can tell, it doesn't exist.
Does not exist. BN listeners could make a suggestion, and I bet Adam and Eve would go find it. That tastes like bacon.
I'm going to be here for a while.
Oh, gross.
I didn't say where. I didn't say what was going on. You have a dirty mind.
My thought is that the one area that you don't want to be reminded of bacon? Yeah. I feel like bacon's appearance is not as appealing as its flavor, and maybe that's the one place I could leave bacon out of the equation.
That's one of several. Yeah, I don't need to be reminded of bacon in various places of my life.
But that's certainly one of them.
That's certainly one of them.
So while Dan might be correct, I don't know that it's a desirable thing, is I guess I'm saying. Anyway, go to adamandeve.com, use coupon code BNARMY. They're good to us, and they'll be good to you, too. How about a little beer news? Should we do that?
Yeah.
Okay, beer news sounds fun.
It's the Brewing Network's Beer News, brought to you by homebrewstuff.com.
Man, homebrew stuff brings you guys a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Do they not?
Yep.
God love those homebrew stuff people. They are bringing you this very disturbing headline, actually. Maybe they are not so stoked that they are being branded with this headline. From our friends to the north, an Alberta woman has pled guilty after her 10-month-old daughter drowned in homebrew. I don't know if you guys heard about this. Yes. So bad, right? The poor girl's name was Lexi Ribbonleg.
Wait, what?
Lexi Ribbonleg, like the leg of a ribbon.
17 years from now, she'll be on the main stage, let's be honest.
Would have been.
Yeah.
I would say even that very unfortunate name doesn't make me want to chuckle at this one.
Yeah.
And I'm like the worst at this. I will chuckle at almost anything.
Unless Lexi was spelled with 3 X's.
But it but it wasn't. So that so I didn't.
Weren't we just having a conversation about laughing at tragedy, Scott?
Yeah,
right.
We were.
So
And
what happened?
I'm smiling, but it's a. Okay. Anyway, she apparently drowned in a batch of homebrew while her mother was passed out in their mobile home in a remote northern Alberta community. So picture a lot of snow and a lot of trailers. Details about the case. It actually happened last spring, but the details have emerged publicly for the first time this week in court. The Canadian press says the baby's 12-year-old brother made the discovery last May when he came home from school. Mama's name is Viola Ribbonleg. She entered a guilty plea to charges of criminal negligence resulting in death for failing to provide adequate childcare. She's scheduled for sentencing in July. Ribbonleg's son has testified that he saw Mama and some dude drinking beer in the trailer on the night of May 28th.
Was that his testimony or your paraphrase of his testimony?
That's my paraphrase.
Okay.
Mama's
and some dude.
You get Alberta,
Mama and some dude.
A 12-year-old from Alberta, Canada said, I saw Mama drinking
with some
dude in a trailer.
Just curious.
Yeah.
There are much more pleases in there, though.
I hope she didn't fall into a carboy, because then there was a whole other problem.
Yeah.
She was 12 months, not 12 weeks.
That's what I was wondering. We're going to get to that. I'm interested to hear you guys' take on it. Anyway, the kid says that mom was drinking May 28th and into the morning of the 29th, and that she had asked him to come home at lunch to babysit for the afternoon, which he did. But the door was locked. He climbed in through a window, and there he found Mama passed out on the floor. 2 dudes passed out on the sofas, and the poor baby drowned in the homebrew, which was, quote, in a crate beside the couch.
In a crate?
A crate, yes.
So I think it was some people put like a bucket or a carboy in a milk crate so you can carry it easily.
I think it was actually like a plastic bag. I read several articles, but they lined the crate with plastic, I do believe.
I feel like it is a gross misrepresentation to call this homebrew.
Yeah, yes.
I feel like they made liquor at home, and they put it in a plastic bag.
Yeah, it's like Pruno.
And then it sounds like they were just sitting on the couch, like dipping plastic cups. I realize I'm taking a little bit of liberty with the story here, but it wasn't like being poured out of a bottle or a keg, or they were just like dipping into this plastic bag.
I think that's right. Yeah.
So it wasn't carbonated. Absolutely. It wasn't cold. It was liquid. It was liquor.
Yeah.
It's unclear. You're probably right. It was clocking in. They did toxicology tests on it. Showed it was about 8% ABV.
Yeah.
And that the person who made it actually did testify to the police. He told them it was water, rolled oats, sugar, potatoes, and yeast.
Yeah, that's prison hooch. Dude.
It sounds like it. It had been left to ferment for about a week in the plastic bag inside the crate, and it was indeed a milk crate.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head. That's white trash backyard prison hooch, dude. That's Pruno.
Yeah, semantics. It's one way or the other. The problem, I guess, I have with it, with the misrepresentation, with it being called homebrew, is the stigma it could result in. That's why I don't like it. It's sort of like reporting with when there's a dog attack. If it's a pit bull, they always say pit bull attacks. If it's any other sort of dog, they say dog attacks. You see what I mean? They never say German Shepherd attacks, or they say dog, but they will specifically. And so it's almost the same thing. So that the word homebrew will, cause a rise in people. Oh, it's those homebrewers again.
Do you think it's
a terrible thing?
Do you think the nerds involved in the at-home, like do-it-yourself programming video game hobby are all up in arms like this too? Because it's called homebrewing.
It is.
Yeah, I homebrewed the video game. I have a Pac-Man hack or whatever.
Well, they shouldn't be up in arms because they clearly stole it. But,
right. But I think that, I wonder if these nerds are sitting around
with the baby. They're like,
no, they misrepresent homebrewing.
Right.
We're not about that. We like to hack games.
And it's probably not a big deal. I just don't like the mislabeling. That's all. Because it clearly wasn't like homebrewing.
Right.
I don't like the shitty parenting.
It was, which I suppose is probably the more important.
Oh, I thought Canadians were so much better, and they're so polite, and they know exactly what to do.
I'm not demeaning that. I agree that it would be more accurate to probably call that moonshine or something, right?
Your point is still valid.
But come on.
Right.
Yeah. She was passed out. A couple dudes passed out.
Yeah.
Son come home. Did I hear that right? The son comes. She asked him to come home early from school to babysit.
Yes.
Not because she has a doctor's appointment.
No.
Because she's got to self-medicate.
I'm going to be passed out.
Well,
look,
that
let's
kid's
be
going to be fucked up too. It's sad the one who didn't make it, but the one who did make it
isn't going to make it.
Found his sibling.
Yeah.
And
Train
his
wreck
mom's
mom.
now going to jail, which might be good
Probably
for
the best
kid.
thing for him.
Oh, boy.
A mess.
It is a mess.
It is
Drugs are bad,
unfortunate. Why am I all depressed now? Moscow, give me something a little more
I'm going to go.
uplifting.
I got to throw away that plastic bag when I get home.
Put a little.
All right. Let's. I don't even know if this is that uplifting, but it's a little better.
Can't be any more depressing.
I guess it
than
can.
that.
About dead
10
babies.
nuns were raped
No, it's good point. This is a non-dead
by
baby
Mitch
story.
Steele.
This story is about American Light Lager. Actually, it's during yesterday's NASCAR Sprint Cup. I'm not sure any of us were watching it, but apparently Miller Coors began airing the first national advertising campaign for Keystone Light since 2011. A similar Bevo, enough.
Keystone.
Hey, that wasn't me.
A similar campaign for Miller High Life will start in April, and AB InBev will expand its marketing of Busch to year-round. Bevo, we get it. They've also introduced a fuller flavored version called Busch Signature Copper Lager because it is all part of a push to reinvigorate the economy light lager category. Below premium beer, they call it. Sales fell 3.5% last year. And this retreat is important because the segment brings in about $6 billion annually, accounts for fully 1/4 of the entire U.S. beer market, according to Nielsen. They are trying to reinvigorate it because the average economy beer drinker spends a lot more, they say, than craft beer drinkers. About $252 per person last year on beer, and they made 18 trips to the store compared with $169 and 11 trips for the average craft beer drinker.
Now featuring Premium Busch Lager.
Economy buyers skew older and male with lower than average incomes, as you might expect. The segment was hit especially hard when the housing and job markets crashed back in 2008, and apparently they didn't switch to other beverages; they just simply bought less.
That's the part I find hard to believe, to be honest with you. There's an old saying about the liquor business, the beer business, the alcohol business, is that when times are good, people drink. When times are bad, people drink. I'm surprised to hear actually people buying less of the cheap beer.
Yeah.
Usually cut out something else,
Totally.
like orange juice. But you stick with your Keystone Light. I speak from experience, by the way. I'm not judging. I know it happens.
The statistics you would expect, yeah, but the statistics kind of say otherwise.
Interesting.
Cheap beer loyalists aren't the only consumers Miller Coors wants to reach. They say craft beer drinkers also frequently purchase economy brands to supplement their favorite brands, again, according to Nielsen.
If I didn't know JP, I would have argued with that. I would have thought, well, that's ridiculous. But guys like JP do that.
And
they
me
buy
too, for that matter.
Yeah, like the light law. And I think there's several. Apparently, there's lots of you doing it.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so keep your eyes open for more of those commercials. I'm sure they'll be fantastic.
Oh, I can't wait.
And I'm sure we're all fed up with legal disputes over brewery and beer naming rights, but too bad. Here's another one. This time it is our friends at Anchor Steam versus the City Steam Brewery in Hartford, Connecticut. You ever heard of them, Jay? Out of Connecticut?
Yeah, I have, actually. I think I've been there.
City Steam has the distinction of being the first legal target in the state of Connecticut, which has 27 active breweries. Anchor has asked a Connecticut judge to order City Steam to stop using the name that has adorned its brew pub since 1997, so it's been a long time, calling it confusingly similar to its own name. Anchor has also asked for civil damages and attorney's fees.
97, it seems like it took Anchor a little while.
It took them a long time. And so City has been expanding distribution of its bottled beer over the past 5 years and is now selling in most of New England and New York. But that actually was not the what drew Anchor's attention. According to their attorney, James Kinnear, he said that Anchor first became aware of City Steam when the brewery filed an application in 2012 for a trademark on City Steam.
See, why would they do that? I mean, that's what screwed them up.
Yeah.
You got to not... if you already know that you're sort of halfway to an infringement, and by the way, they knew. you don't then go apply for trademark, because what that does is it notifies everybody. Like it puts it out on the market, and the Anchor people are on the lookout for those sorts of applications. They've got to search out for the word steam.
Right.
It gets flagged, and you get the opportunity to post an objection. It's part of the process. I think City Steam should have just kept doing what they were doing and left it alone.
Well, had they, I mean, that means Anchor, because it's hard to believe Anchor was not aware of their existence. It has the word steam in there. They must have known about them?
That's kind of my point. So they were being left alone. They might have continued just to be left alone. But what happens when they start, if they're approved to be licensed to some form of steam, something similar, it gives them rights to all sorts of other stuff. So maybe Anchor wants to do something in Connecticut one day with Anchor Steam, which they've owned for clearly longer. They can't. Or whatever happens. You see what I'm saying? So City Steam probably just would have been left alone.
I wonder what their reasoning was then.
I guess you could say that if they're looking to grow and expand, it sounds like they're distributing in different places already. Then you're looking to protect your name so there can't be another City Steam. But a little research or some good advice from a lawyer probably would have told them, you guys don't want to do this. You think you want to do this, and it might help you in one place, but it's going to hurt you more. By the way, very quickly, if you're looking for a good trademark lawyer, you should use mine. He's kind of a badass. Just go to beerlawcenter.com, and he's looking out for the hop grenade everywhere you go. Call John at beerlawcenter.com. His phone number's right there. He's ready to take your call, and he does this for breweries. I bet he would have given some great advice to this Connecticut brewery before they did their trademark application.
Absolutely.
At the very least, he would have outlined every outcome that they have ahead of them and the costs that they might be incurring, even if they win, and the whole deal. He's a very upfront guy who kind of takes a good look at the big picture. Go to beerlawcenter.com and check it out.
Well, he's real good because you can't really pronounce his last name.
He told me not to.
Yeah.
After the first live read, which I thought I got his name right, but he's like, you could just say call John.
You're right. He told me the same thing. He's like, although when you said that my name wasn't even real, my wife laughed, but you could just call me John.
But John's a badass, and he's here just for brewers. And so, anyway, I bet he would have given some good advice here. I'm curious how this one plays out, Moskowitz.
We'll see what happens. Kinnear, Anchor's attorney, said that Anchor was not opposed to City Steam's trademark application and reached out to negotiate a possible agreement, but the negotiations fell apart.
Oh.
And the owner of City Steam is Jay Dumont. He said that he intends to fight Anchor's claim, so I'm interested to see as well how it plays out.
See, I don't know much about this, but that name Steam has been protected over and over and over again over the years. They had a trademark very early on. It's been held up time and again. I'd really be curious if City Steam even has a chance of beating it. There's a lot of precedent.
Yeah, well, and a lot of the opinion I was reading suggests that, they do not have a chance.
Yeah. Well, I'm not siding either way. City Steam, I mean, good luck to you. I don't mean that you're right or wrong. I just mean I think you might have a tough road ahead. And I wish both sides luck. I always everybody hates this part of it.
Yeah, it sucks. And Anchor, it sucks for them that they are not unfamiliar with legal disputes. I don't know if you guys remember, they were sued in 2011 by Sammy over claims that it recruited one of Boston Beer's executives to steal trade secrets, and the two sides reached an out-of-court settlement. Who knows if that'll happen in this case? Probably not. All right, let's end it, speaking of Sammy, with the quote of the week from Jim Koch. In response to Sammy's fourth quarter earnings report from 2013 that came out this week, it showed a $52.4 million increase over the same period from 2012.
Oh my God.
Mr. Cook's quote is, "I am pleased with our growth in 2013 and especially gratified that our flagship Samuel Adams Boston Lager, one of the original craft brews, continued to grow in 2013 as we enter our 30th year of brewing this beer. I am pleased that the Boston Beer Company continues to lead the craft beer industry both in innovation and variety, and that drinkers remain excited by our beers.
May Samuel lead us on."
That is the news, brought to you by homebrewstuff.com, where it is March Homebrew Madness. Go to homebrewstuff.com/promotions and join the tournament.
Tasty, we went into the wrong business.
For sure.
They didn't say $52.4 million, period. It was a $52.4 million increase.
Yep. And that's one quarter, by the way.
That
is fourth quarter earnings report.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Fourth quarter of 2013.
Holy ball sacks.
And huge net increases in overall shipments of Boston Lager, shipments of everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy about that. I mean, I like seeing their beer get out there, but that's some money.
That increase, too, was despite increased ad spending, increased cost of materials and labor, so no matter what, they're raking it in.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Gotta love it.
I do love it. I'd love it more if it was me.
You gotta spend money to make money.
Yep.
That's true.
Really?
Yep. There's a reason Coca-Cola brands are everywhere.
There is? I think it's because they put cocaine in their original product. That's my assessment. How about I talk to Jim, see what he did back there in the 80s. I'll tell you what, put a little cocaine in there and go anywhere. I heard something about cocaine found in some Canadian beer recently. I read something today.
What?
Yeah, it was like I don't know if the beer got served or distributed or not, but it was like a smuggle. And it got put into a bunch of Mexican beer bottles imported into Canada.
Really?
Yeah, there you go. 390 liters of cocaine and methamphetamine were hidden inside more than 1,000 Mexican beer bottles found on pallets.
Were they like... Well, you don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was like diluted
this was
into the
last
liquid
year,
or
too.
if it was solid. It was.
The drugs had been shipped to Melbourne from Mexico.
Oh, it was Australia. Okay.
Of course it was.
Yeah. Thought it was the Canadians.
Yeah.
I can't tell the difference. You know?
Well, like I said, this is April of 13, so it could have been. There's another one, March of 12, October 11. So apparently this has happened before. And before July of 11.
And before.
Right.
You know, Jim's last name used to be pronounced Coke.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah. That's how the sales started. And then, you know, when cocaine became uncouth in the 2000s, you had to change it to Cook.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it Koch?
Yes. Yeah.
It is pronounced Coke.
Oh, there you go.
Says who?
A patient I had today with the same exact last name who corrected me on pronouncing it.
Well, but everyone does it different because the Stone dude is a Cook, too. Same spelling, and he says Cook.
But he says Cook.
Yeah. So it just depends, you know.
I called her Cock.
See, that's why she corrected you. She's like,
that deserves a correction.
She's like, it's not, never mind.
It's like pronounced Bob.
Forget, I'm
and I
sick
kind
of
of
it.
knew it was
Fine,
wrong
Cock,
anyway,
okay?
but I was
My
just
name is Sally Cock. All right? Sally Large Cock. I'm tired of correcting you people. Yeah.
I feel like my parents went a bit overboard with the large middle name,
but whatever. We have a good relationship, and I'm not going to ruin it now. SLK. Sally Silky Large Cock.
Silky.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up our actual content for the day and brings us to JP's content.
I have content. What am I talking about? What am I doing?
We have to wrap up the Twitter game.
Probably the Twitter game.
Line, please. Line. Yeah, Twitter game. So I wanted a compliment. I was tired of us getting a bunch of shit. We needed a compliment to balance out all the garbage that we usually get. So
I'm curious about this.
Wayne Perry steps up and he says, you guys are great. I don't think I'd kill any of you.
That's a good compliment.
That's pretty decent, right?
I mean, he sounds like one of us, and
the only problem I have with it is he doesn't think that he would. So it still leaves room for opportunity.
Sure.
Yeah.
But that makes me relate to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
You struggle with wanting to kill us all also?
Yeah. I don't think I would, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You
never know what the future holds.
I can't see the future.
Right. Potato.
Yeah.
Andrew Bain writes, you are the best podcast I listen to every once in a while.
That's nice.
That's pretty nice also.
Done on a Monday night in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Okay.
About beer.
Good.
Brian Sadivi writes, you are the best at compliment fishing.
Totally.
Pretty good. I mean, it's accurate. That's for sure. It's not, you know. Bokanon writes, you're such good podcasters! Exclamation point.
We do live radio.
Right. It's not. That's a backhanded compliment.
Live streaming audio, I guess.
Bradley Miles says, thanks for always being there when my wife is mad at me because I drank too much, spent too much on hops, or spent too long brewing.
Well, you're fucking welcome. That's a good one.
Right?
Yeah.
And then Jared Lambert calls us pretty when he's drunk.
Only like beer goggles? That's rude.
Well, I don't know. Maybe
it's rude if you're you. The rest of us think that's a compliment.
Maybe when we're
That's a good point.
Maybe when we're drunk, we go to the bathroom and put on more makeup. I don't know.
Yeah. I like the one about the wife and us, and we're always there for him.
From Bradley?
Yeah.
All right.
That gets my vote.
I get it. I like it too.
Is that it? That's all of them?
That's all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't want the pretty one, do you? Because they are talking about you then with beer goggles.
That's rude.
You got lumped in with the rest of us.
I always do.
Any other votes?
Pretty lumpy.
No, I'm fine with that
Tasty.
one. Yeah. Although I did like You're the Best podcast I listen to every once in a while.
Yeah, I do like that too.
Yeah.
You want to give them both a prize?
I like that.
We could give them both a prize, sure.
You want to be diplomatic tonight? I do like them both. They're good.
Yeah.
You seem to have a split vote.
Let's do it.
All right, they both win tonight. JP will send you a prize. All you got to do is send an email to jp@thebrewingnetwork.com, and he'll take care of that for you. I hear he's shipping lymph nodes lately. So if you want to...
Got 23 of them pulled out.
Got 23 lymph nodes. Just sitting down there in the studio next to the pepper jar. All right.
Did you ask to keep them?
I did, and he just looked at me. He's like, biohazard. I'm like, oh, fuck. I thought maybe he was wanting me to go to the show with him, but...
Said I'm a scientist.
I had the opposite happen. I had a cyst removed from my back, and she was like, hey, you want this? And I was like, hell no, I don't even want to see it.
You're kidding. She asked if you wanted it?
Yes.
That's not right.
You know, I would have looked at it because there was a story recently about a baby who had a cyst removed from its brain, had teeth in it.
What?
Yeah, had teeth
So
in
it was like a twin?
No, apparently
Let me catch up here.
this certain type of tumor or mass is related to calcium cells somehow. They don't really know how these grow. And every once in a while, this will happen where teeth will grow because these certain cells can kind of form anything. So there'll be little bones or fingers or whatever, and this one just happened to have teeth.
I feel like you have 2 teeth growing on the front of your head right now.
That's supposed to mean. What does that even mean?
You should see an orthodontist about those.
You should see Doc.
Whatever. You guys are rude.
We are rude, and I apologize.
At least you get
I
apologies.
never would have thought about it unless you hadn't mentioned it.
They do. I mean, there's
It's like,
not just any teeth either,
Look at,
like
I
vampire teeth.
feel like my scalp here, like any teeth.
That was Justin's contribution to the compliment us on Twitter.
I don't even understand.
BrewingNetwork.com/TV, everybody. That's where the video lives, if you want to know what we're talking about. All right.
What are we talking about? Would you like to see? I don't understand.
All right. Are we done?
Yes.
I think we're done.
When's that hop grenade place going to be done? That's what I was wondering. Is there an estimated...
Never heard of it.
What's the plan there?
I'm guessing May, Moscow. I think May.
Yeah, we're still holding out hope for late April. You just never know with construction and stuff. It's unpredictable.
Yeah,
so realistically, probably early May. Yeah.
Perfect.
The problem with here's one thing we're going to run into. We keep running. We know all these brewers, and we want them to come out to our grand opening. Well, we're opening in the time there's a bunch of other shit happening. So in early April, which we're probably not going to be ready for anyway, but we thought we would. That's CBC. So all the people that would otherwise be hanging out with us are going to be in Denver for the Craft Brewers Conference.
Right.
Well, the first weekend in May, Moscow, I just looked today, Boonville Beer Festival.
Yes, and SoCal Homebrew Fest, and they're on the same day, so everyone's going to be gone.
Well, the SoCal Fest might not happen because of those legal issues
still up
that
in
we
the
have.
air, yeah.
But the Boonville, every Bay Area brewer goes to Boonville. And by the way, I hope we will too this year with no SoCal Fest. Anyhow, that kind of screws us for that weekend too.
Yeah.
My money's on the second weekend in May, but there's so much up in the air. But that's where my money is. Second weekend in May, the Hop Grenade. Right now, you can go to thehopgrenade.com. It's just a landing page, but actually within the next week or two, there's probably going to be an actual website there that starts to give you information. I'm not going to. We also have social networks getting ready to go, but we'll give it out as soon as there's a bunch of blank pages right now.
Well, we can plug Twitter, right? Because I'm starting to do stuff on that.
Yeah, you can do that one. Twitter.com/thehopgrenade.
Yeah, construction pictures, and you can follow the progress.
Yeah, so we are. That's right. There's a bunch of empty space photos there. See what it looks like.
And that's Hop Grenade. Is that the
at the Hop Grenade.
At Hop Grenade?
If you've never seen an empty
The
room,
Hop Grenade.
Now's your chance.
Oh, the Hop Grenade.
I don't know. Let me check. Is it the?
It's the.
Yeah, Twitter.com/thehopgrenade, right?
Yes, sir.
Because I think there was another Hop Grenade up that hasn't been used. There's like 4 people on it. I think someone had nabbed it before I got there.
Should we sick John at Beer Law Center on that?
I don't know if we have legal claim to a Twitter name. Yeah.
It's not illegal.
If they're long, especially because they're not doing anything with it.
Well, he's an attorney. Can't he argue that it is somehow?
He would more be arguing to the Twitter people to say, hey, there should be no placeholders. Give it back to the people.
I can see that making national headlines.
Give us our Twitter back.
Yeah, and give him some a boost to his beer law business.
That's our campaign.
I'm sure it's never happened before.
A good question, Tasty. We have more information coming out about that soon, including where to send your applications and things. Don't send it to me now. Some of you have done that already. Some of you have done it and you work for other places in our immediate
area
code.
Okay.
Don't do that. I can't. Don't do that.
Right.
I mean, what am I going to do?
You know what you should do is when they come out, you got to download the Brew Strong episodes about landing a job in a brewery. We just did those last week, and that
I just
will give
posted
you
one today.
Oh, there you go, and that'll learn you what to do and what not to do.
We're not a brewery.
Well,
whatever.
Close enough.
Close enough. It's close enough.
Thank you.
All right.
That's my answer. Are we done?
Yeah, man, let's go.
Next week, what do we have? The 2013 Homebrewer of the Year?
Yes.
Annie Johnson is going to join us, and she's brewing on that crazy contraption that brews without knowledge.
The Pico Brew Zymatic. She's bringing in her unit, as it were, and we'll do a little test brew.
Is that sexist?
I wonder if I should wait to brew my beer and have her do a Schwartz beer on that.
For you?
Because she's going to brew it here, right?
Yeah.
With the thing?
Yes.
In the automated thing.
That's it.
I could press the go button. If I press the go button,
That's brewing?
It's my beer.
Yeah.
It'll probably come out great, is what I hear.
All right, all that's next week and more. JP, get us out of here, will you?
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Tickets are on sale now for the Bacon and Beer Festival, Sunday, March 9th in Jack London Square in Oakland. Check out baconandbeer.net/Oakland for all the deets. JP is trying to be funny over on Twitter. Give his ego a much-needed boost and follow him at Major Jip. For some good beer insight and homebrew info, follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. If you want a job with a hop grenade, do not email Justin at thebrewingnetwork.com right now. Production director on the session has been Push Eject. Tonight's show has been produced by Scott Maskowitz. JP is still here. Sorry about that. Your call screener and one of us was Bevo, and your host was Justin Crossley. Be sure to find the Brew Network on Facebook and Twitter.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy, and when